Holy crap. Everything worked. You guys don't know what I've gone through this week to get this thing overlays and all this stuff. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. Appreciate you guys showing up for the live show. This is, this is real. This is real. And I'm hearing myself. Hold on. It's good? We're good? Okay. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. There we go. All right. Well, hey everybody, thanks for coming on the show tonight. This is wild. This is something new I'm trying, and I'm honestly scared to death. But hey, let's do it. The show must go on, right? So, and I keep hearing myself. Okay. Are you hearing yourself too? Okay. I think so. I think I got. Okay. You can? Oh my gosh. Okay. This is unreal. All right. Here we go. Hey, we're going to do it live. Here we go. Hey, let's do it. Hey, what's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 270 of Guardian Downcast, a Destiny podcast. I'm your host, Todd the GATR, and I'm a Day One Guardian who loves gaming and especially the Destiny franchise, and we talk about it. This week, it's our monthly roundtable episode. For those of you who may be new to the podcast, once a month, I try to produce a roundtable episode whereby members of our community bring a topic, story, article, or hell, just a point of view to the table. They introduce their topic and give their opinions and takes on it, but when we go around the table and everyone else chimes in and adds in to the topic of conversation. I'm really excited for today's topics, and we have 4 to talk about today. This is our 7th roundtable episode, and if you would like to go back and listen to our past ones, check out guardiandowncast.com and search for episodes 239, 244, 247, 251, 262, and 266. We're trying out our very first live roundtable episode today, and you can watch it on my YouTube channel, Todd the GATR. It's 2 Ds and GATR. The link will be down in our show description, so if you'd like to watch the replay for our audio listeners, there you go. For those in chat who are live tonight, if you would like to comment on our topics or have a question for us, make sure to @ RNG GATR or Elmer Fudd Games in the chat before entering your question and a comment, and we'll highlight them for me to see, and we'll try to include you guys in the show as well. For our audio listeners, I haven't forgot about you guys. I will also be going over the highlights of this week in Destiny and have some final thoughts as well. But first, introductions are in order. Can't hear you guys. Yes, desktop. Well, we could fix that. We'll take care of that. Source. Active source. I am. I'm recording. I'm recording on software, and I'm recording on OBS as well. And people say they cannot hear you guys. Well, let's fix that. That is strange. We'll get this taken care of. I can hear myself. I keep hearing myself back. Okay. This is wonderful. Let's go to active sources. Off Discord guest box. That's off. Okay. Awesome. We will get this squared away. Just 1 second. Okay. Oh, I think I know what I did here. No, I don't have you guys muted. Okay. Desktop audio. Okay, let's go with okay. We'll do it this way. Singing Wonderwall? Let's do that. Yeah, please. Jeez. Oh my goodness. This thing was. Scored boxes. Audio sources. Okay, we got desktop. I'm showing you guys coming through. I just don't understand why they're not as hearing. Why can't you guys hear him? Technology is wonderful, isn't it? It does. Oh, I can turn you guys up. Is that better? Can you guys hear now? Did I have it down too low? Can you guys hear them now? I turned up their volumes. Todd, you're killing me here, man. How about everyone else? Can everyone else hear? Can you guys chat? Can you let me know? Can you hear our guest here? I'm hearing I'm hearing myself. This is what's bugging me. Streaming. No, nobody can hear. Okay. Okay, so we're going to change it up here. Give me 1 second. OBS audio output, my desktop audio coming in, and my mic going out. Oh, my hearing aids have died. No, Todd. I guess you're not the only one. Okay. All right. Well, we'll go a different way then. I hate that. Oh, you're talking on Discord? What, my Discord? Yeah, that's what my audio output is. It's my headphones. I can hear you guys, unless I've got something muted. Don't understand why. Got sources here. Now my sources should have. Oh, my sources don't have audio sources. I bet. Like the host cam, that doesn't have that needs an audio source too. Yep. Yeah, on my audio mixer, I've got both of them working right here. They're both working right now. Yeah. Input. Wish I could share my screen right now. Okay. Okay. Let's figure this out. We will get this. Okay. This is advanced audio properties. Since it's active. Wait a minute. Maybe if I do this. All right. Say something, guys. Can you guys hear in chat now? Hear nothing but GATR. Okay. If you are using, can you guys hear GATR and Elmer Fudd now? Sources. Mm-hmm. Oh, audio input capture. Well, let's add one. That will be, says default. That's probably what the problem is. Okay.
It's like a Pokemon. You got to catch them all.
Okay.
Mhm.
How about now?
All right, we are talking. We are
Very
saying
loud. It's
words.
very loud. Let me turn you down.
Okay.
Okay, how
Yep,
about now,
yep,
chat?
Yep. Yep. Hello. Words.
How about now, guys?
It's a wonder wall. Bum, 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 bum.
Can you guys hear the guest?
Like a Pokemon. You got to catch them
I'm
all.
gonna unmute your
Mm-hmm.
screen.
Oh,
and
I
see.
just heard myself.
All right, we are talking.
I think I fixed
we
it.
are
Audio
saying
input. I
words.
got audio capture going through my.
Yep. Hello.
There
Yep.
we
There we
go.
go. You got it, baby.
All right, now here's the problem I have, Fudd. I'm hearing myself back. So how do I fix that?
You should not be hearing your. Your audio input. Make sure. You have the section that says audio mixer, right?
Yep.
So go down to wherever your microphone is.
Mm-hmm.
Click those three dots.
Yep.
Go to advanced audio.
Yep.
And make sure you're not monitoring it.
I got monitoring off.
Okay.
Nope, I got monitoring output.
You have the section that says audio mixer, right?
Let me take.
Yep, that's why you're hearing yourself then. So go down to wherever your microphone is.
Okay, I'm hearing myself back.
So you're monitoring yourself.
Go to advanced audio. That's why you're hearing yourself. And make sure you're not monitoring it.
I got monitoring off.
Or if you still have your voice mod open, maybe you have the I thing click to hear yourself.
No, voice mod is not on. Voice mod is not on. Okay.
So yeah,
this is
hopefully,
great.
are you still hearing yourself, or did that fix it? That's why you're hearing yourself.
I'm still hearing both of us. I'm still hearing both of us back.
Do you have the stream pulled up and you're listening to that on accident?
Nope, I got that muted as well. Let me double check. Let me double check.
So yeah, hopefully, are you still hearing yourself, or is that fix it?
Let's pull this up. I'm still hearing both of us. I'm still hearing both of us back.
Do you have the stream pulled up and you're listening to that on accident?
Nope. That is muted. Now, if I pop my chat out, there should be no sound on that, right?
Yeah, if you have chat open, there shouldn't be audio.
Chat's,
over
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it should mean there's sound coming out of chat.
Okay. That's,
Yeah, that'd be insane if there was.
That's working.
That would be,
fine.
yeah.
You discovered a new thing.
There's something I'm missing.
Just reading
here.
every word in chat to you.
No clue where the heck this is
That'd
coming
be
from.
insane.
Could it be coming through
Yeah, if you have chat open.
could it be coming through
Yeah.
could somehow it be coming back playing back through Discord?
Discovered a new thing. No, I don't think there's a option in Discord to let you hear everything.
Okay, let me
And then you just turned off where it was monitoring it in OBS. So that should have done that.
that didn't stop it.
Yeah.
But I did add
Do you?
yeah, don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah. Well, you should. Everyone should learn how to do this stuff.
Yes.
It's very fun to play with and mess with. You should all try this at home.
Capture.
You just turned off where it was monitoring it in OBS. So that should have done that.
Still hearing.
Yeah.
But I did add
Do you?
yeah, don't try this at home, kids. Okay,
Well,
let's
you
lock
should.
these.
Everyone should learn how to do this stuff.
Yeah, I'm hearing everything back.
Do you have an audio mixer like a Go XLR or anything?
I've got a I'm recording with a Rodecaster Pro right now.
Okay. Is it
Could it be
maybe coming from
my
that?
monitor maybe? How about now, can I hear you? Yeah, I'm hearing everything back.
Do you have an audio mixer like a Go XLR or anything?
I've got a see here. I'm recording with a Rodecaster Pro right now.
Okay. Is it
Could it be
maybe
my
coming from
my
that?
monitor maybe? I'm hearing everything back like 2 seconds later.
It's so
this
weird.
This is weird. I don't know.
Yeah, if it's not because it's not coming through OBS, it can't
don't-
come through Discord.
Okay. Discord background. That doesn't have an input. It doesn't have an audio source either. It's just a visual.
Unless it's coming from your mixer, maybe.
Wonderful. I work all week on this, and this is.
Yeah, if it's not because it's not.
Let me just double check all my sources.
Come through Discord.
Let's go to advanced. All monitoring is off on everything.
Unless it's coming from your
It sounds like it's coming. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is.
You figured
Sorry,
it out?
guys. These windows are going to look really crappy for a minute.
Okay, I'm glad you figured it out though.
I've got YouTube pulled up on another window over here. That's why.
Oh, okay.
That's why. All monitoring is off.
We figured it out.
We figured it out.
I'm proud of you, dude. That's the toughest thing is when you're like, there's no good explanation for this, and it's just the
Watch
weirdest,
underneath this,
smallest thing.
and it's fixed. Yeah, let's close that window.
Is that
shall we?
better?
Let's
Is
close
that
window.
fixed? Can you hear us in your ear still? Echo in like a 5-second delay.
I think we got it now. Yeah. Look
You
at
got
the. There you go. Good job, Gator. That's what I need you to do right there, man. There we go. All right. Hey,
You
what do
did it.
hey,
All
what
right,
do you guys
let's
think?
go.
You guys want to do a show?
Yeah,
Let's do a
Let's
show.
do a show, baby.
I love it, man. Let's do a show.
I love you, dude.
Oh my god.
That's what I thought we were here for. Yeah.
Oh my god, man. Hey, you know
Welcome
what?
I'm
You know
just
what?
here to help Gator.
You know
That's
what?
all I'm here for.
We're gonna take it from the top. We're gonna take it from.
Let's
the
take
top.
it from the top,
We're
dude.
gonna take it from the top.
Hey, Guardians, welcome to episode
Welcome to-
270 of Guardian Downcast.
I was losing
It's
my
a
mind.
roundtable
I
episode.
was losing my
It's the
mind.
7th or 9th one. I don't know,
All
but
right.
it's going to be great.
Okay, we're good now. We're good now. Here we go.
Okay.
Counting
away.
down. 3, 2. What's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 270 of Guardian Downcast, the Destiny podcast. I'm your host, Todd the Gator, and I'm a day one Guardian who loves gaming and especially the Destiny franchise, and we talk about it. This week, it's our monthly roundtable episode. For those of you who may be new to the podcast, once a month, I tried to produce a roundtable episode whereby members of the community bring a topic or story article or just a point of view to the table, and they introduce their topic and give their opinions and takes on it. But then we go around the table and everyone else chimes in and we add to the topic of conversation. That's what this whole episode is about. It's all about conversation and discussion. I'm really excited for today's topic, and we have 4 to talk about today. This is our 7th roundtable episode, and if you'd like to go back and listen to our past ones, check out guardiandowncast.com, search for episodes 239, 244, 247, 251, 262, and 266. You guys are distracting me. We're trying out our first live roundtable, not very well today, and you can catch it on my YouTube channel, Todd the Gator. That's 2Ds and GATR. The link will be down in the show description if you'd like to watch the replay of tonight's fiasco. For those of you in chat tonight, if you'd like to comment on our topics or have a question for us, make sure you at RNG Gator or at Elmer Fudd Games in the chat before entering your question or comment, and we'll highlight them for me to see. For our audio listeners, I haven't forgot about you guys. I'll also be bringing over the highlights of this week in Destiny. Got a lot to talk about Titans this week. And I have some final thoughts as well. But first, introductions are in order. Man, I got a dry throat now. Drink. Our first member of the roundtable is a first-time roundtabler, and he has been a mod in our Discord community. He's been here from the very beginning. I think it's going on 5 years now. He's been a positive force in our community and is a fellow Gator fan, which always scores points with me. I know him from the Dad's Tales podcast Discord over 6 years ago now, I think. You can catch his original interview with us way back on episode 26, which but he's been on the show. Let me see. Episode 61, 73, 88, 108, 126. I've actually met him and his wonderful family in person as well, and even though he's doctored the photo of us together to make him look a few inches taller than me, he's still considered a good friend. From the great state of North Carolina, it's Mr. RNG Gator. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. All that is lies at the end, but it's okay.
You got no proof, man. You got no proof.
Sure.
Thank you, man, for coming on tonight. This is fun.
Not a
Frustrating
problem.
but fun. We had a phantom window open somewhere where I could hear myself back. It would just drive me crazy. The second member of our roundtable today was on Guardian Downcast as a past guest. He really doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to brag about him anyway today. We heard his episode back on episode 5 titled Hunting for Wabbits and Hazelnuts, where we heard about his Destiny journey and his gaming life. Since then, he's been on episodes 29, 56, 66, 73, 88, 107, 123, 144, 159, 214, and 257. But he's never been on a roundtable episode. He's had his very own gaming community longer than we've been a podcast, and he's also been a supporter of the Guardian Downcast community as well. I consider him my brother from another mother from the great state of Wyoming, and he's truly been an inspiration to me all these years. And I also co-hosted a recent UK raid race, and man, let me tell you, he is the consummate professional and made my first time commentator job really fun. And he's organized many other community gaming tournaments as well. He's also a part of the United States Postal Service, so thank you for your service. You can catch him streaming multiple games on his Twitch channel, where he's an affiliate Twitch partner. I'm really looking forward to hearing his topic tonight, so please welcome Elmer Fudd Games. Did I brag enough?
No, not even close, dude. I was gonna come in here with tears and a soft heart, but no, dude. Let's take it from the top. You can do better than that.
Between the two of you guys, you have been on my show 17 times, not including community episodes. So I think I'm pretty confident these two guys will be great co-hosts tonight. Before we get into our topics though tonight, let's go around the table and just see what's been going on with our lives this month so far. I'll start with you, RNG. I know last time I talked to you on last episode, I think you were giving your 2 weeks notice, moving to your next job. I think.
Yeah, I had just given it that week that I was talking to you, and oh Lord, what happened after that was absolutely great. So I give it, and it was pretty much like a 3 weeks notice. I worked from home when I gave it. I had 2 more weeks in the office because I was staying a third week to help out with something we had going on before I started at my new job. And the second week of my notice, I got sick one morning when we had the tropical storm come through. I woke up sick, so I couldn't message my manager and everything. I'm like, hey, I won't be able to make it in. I got up and I was like, I'm feeling better. I'll see if he'll let me work from home. And then it hit me again. I'm like, no, I'm not going in. And I put in time off to make up for the day I was missing. And my manager messaged me. He's like, well, you had Friday off. You have tomorrow off. And I think you're just lying. So we're going to terminate your employment as of yesterday. Okay. Jeez. So I'm like, fine with me. I'll take the vacation. And called my new boss and said, hey, if you want me to start next Monday, I'm available now. And they got me in the next Monday. And I've been working at my new job for over a month now. And it's perfectly fine. And I look back. So.
Now you've been playing a lot of games this month. I think you're almost done with Mass Effect 3. I think you said.
Yes, I've just got to the point where you had the little party before the point of no return. So, yeah. You know.
Anything else you've been doing this week or this month since I talked to you last? Gaming or shows or anything like that?
The only other game I've been playing is college football besides Mass Effect 3, and then just. That's right. Catching up on animes.
Hell yeah.
I'm watching the time I was reincarnated as a slime right now. It's the anime I'm in right now. I finished Black Clover.
Okay.
Or caught up on it, so.
Nice.
That's where I'm at.
Hell nice. Yeah, I've heard some awesome stuff about Black Clover.
Oh, it's so good.
I might try it out. I've heard it's a deep hole to go into.
Oh yeah, it's a deep hole, but it's so much fun when it gets started. It's so good.
What about you? What about you, Fudd? What have you been up to, man? I know we did the raid race. That was so much fun, by the way.
We did the raid marathon for the folks over in the UK, where me and you were USA'd out of our mind.
That was fun.
And that was incredible. A million clips from that. I'm so excited watching those circulate around.
I might have been a little drunk, okay, guys? I might have been a little drunk.
Dude, it was so good. I was bummed. Like, my dad was visiting, and I don't like getting, sloshed in front of him. Yeah. So I was like, the whole time, I was like, man, I love my dad, but I wish he wasn't here.
You were the straight man. I had to be the drunk guy.
I know. I was like, usually I'm the absolute fucking mess who's on the floor crying halfway through, but that was so much fun. But besides that,
what's you been up to?
Space Marines 2, which has been absolutely incredible. Loving that. I'm loving it. And then Helldivers 2 had a big update where they buffed everything, so you feel like a god running around. So that's been popping off again in my Discord, and we've been having super amounts of fun with that. And then Mass Effect 3 for the game club for JSG. I'm way behind Runga, but I'm getting there. And then what do I got next week? I get to drive over and meet Mr. Admiral Nips for the first time. I'm very excited in person. Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
It's gonna be sweet. I'm renting a car and driving out there. So it's going to be, I've got my friends getting married next Thursday.
Oh.
So I'm swooping through South Dakota for his wedding Thursday.
Is Russell?
No. Russ has been married for years.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
A really old friend. Okay. Swooping through South Dakota for that. And then heading over there to meet them. And then plopping through Iowa on the way back to meet my good friend Cheesy, who you've rated with many a time.
Yeah, I like cheesy.
Yeah, we're going to meet him face to face for the first time too. So it's like a road trip of meeting everybody. It's super exciting.
Nice, man. You get to see
I'm pumped.
Marble Nips. It's at that Wisconsin connection, man. I guess you're not too far
I
away.
can't wait to
guess.
be.
It's gonna be fun.
No, it's like a 12-hour drive or something, which is nothing.
Nice. I love it.
Those of you who live in the middle of the country, you understand. 12 hours. Yeah, no, I'll do that for lunch.
Yeah, I've made that trek. I've made that trek across from when I moved my brother from Bar Harbor, Maine. We literally traveled all the way to Southern Cal. I mean, you can't cut more central of the United States to see everything.
Not at all.
And a lot of cornfields and wind farms.
How long does that take?
It was a lot, man. I was tired of seeing corn for a while. And then you got to the west because all of a sudden there's no trees. There's nothing. You're looking out and you're like, if I break down, I am.
That's it. Yeah,
messed
dude.
up.
I'm screwed.
Oh my God. Well, it's I got a couple movies I saw this last week. I did see Beetlejuice.
Me
And
too.
What'd you think of it, man? What'd you think?
Buddy, I adored it. I thought it was a great continuation. It was very tastefully done. It wasn't like an exact. My biggest worry is it would do like a copy paste of the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was, kind of, but some extra things going on there. I thought, all the new characters were fun, and
Right.
why some characters weren't there was explained well. But it was a super fun ride, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We took the kids to see it. They adored it. So I really enjoyed it.
I like they did a lot more of the underworld scenes, with the check-in and
Yes.
stuff. I thought that was fun. But hey, it was entertaining. Definitely the member berries were out. I was definitely getting nostalgic about it all, and I loved it, man. It was a very entertaining movie. I mean, you're not going there for story. You're going there for Michael Keaton. I mean, come on.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing I really liked is, part of Michael Keaton coming back is he said he wanted to make sure the majority of the movie was practical effects.
Yeah.
And it's been
was.
so long, unless it's like a rom-com, where they shoot stuff on site. Like, it's so rare to have a movie that's not all where people are acting in front of a tennis ball and a green screen.
Exactly.
So it was really cool. You could feel it in how everyone was acting, and in the movement of the cameras. You're like, oh, these are like legit sets and everything built up. It was super fun.
Thinking of the scene where he says, you guys want to spill your guts? Here, I'll start.
I'll start back.
All the guts and
And
intestines come out.
Willem Dafoe, like that he was having more fun
Yeah.
than anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, I love Willem Dafoe to death. I really do. I love all his movies. I'm a big fan. But I don't think he was really needed in that movie. It was just kind
I
of.
think he was.
You think he was? All right.
I think he was.
Okay. All right.
He didn't add to the plot at all.
Yeah.
But it was still just no, this is great. I love this.
I tell you, another movie I saw just last night with my wife was Speak No Evil with James McAvoy. It's a Blumhouse production. Blumhouse. It's hit or miss with Blumhouse movies. It was more of a mind, messing with your mind. I was just talking to RNG Gator tonight about it. I don't know if you remember that movie. What we were just talking about, RNG Gator, that one movie? Cape Fear. You remember Cape Fear long ago?
Oh,
was it De Niro? You got to.
It was De Niro.
It was De
I
Niro.
looked it up. It was De Niro.
I remember when he chained the husband on the boat, and his wife. He just took advantage of his wife and his girls, his kids, and it was just so disturbing, man. Kind of that kind of element in this movie.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but I got to give 4 stars to both those movies. They're very good to watch, very entertaining. I heard some news today that the major movie theater chains are going to spend billions of dollars to revamp all their theaters and make them more of a boutique. Remember a long time ago I talked about how movie theaters need to quit worrying about the masses. They need to make movie watching a special event. They need the big sound systems. You need to have Dolby in every theater. You need to have rumble
100%.
seats in every theater. You need to have the recliners in every theater. And then that way it's an experience. When you bring your kids there, they're never going to get when their seat rumbled when a ship went over them in the movie, like in Star Wars or whatever.
Well, it's what I don't know if anyone else's, but our local theater had Coraline 3D had a run recently through the theaters, and I took my kids to see that, and that was their first ever 3D movie experience. And so turning to watch them, and they're doing the whole reaching up to the screen and giggling, and and stuff was happening. I was like, that's not something you forget. And my daughter was saying to me, she's like, I want to go see movies in the theater more. This next generation. She's like, I just love that experience. And I was like, oh, thank you. I am obsessed with going to the movie theater.
It's just like we went and saw last weekend. We went and saw God's Not Dead, movie that was out, and um, my daughter's boyfriend went. And he's never been to one with reclining seats, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's so nice.
And then he's like, "Oh my lord, this is so nice." I'm like, "Yeah, they're heated too." He's like, "What?" You know.
yeah.
It's like, so if you get in a theater that's freezing to you,
You mean a
just
theater?
cut that heat on. It'll warm you up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The theater.
Yeah,
you
and
mean?
I'm seeing like more theaters like
Yep. What I said.
I think you said Prairie
Theater.
River. I don't know.
He
But
says
no, I'm
theater.
seeing like a
Yeah,
lot of
North
theaters
Carolina.
do like a kid showing.
Yeah.
Where like you go to with kids and they have like an actual playground built into the theater.
man.
And I'm like, and that's exactly what you're talking about. Like make it an experience. Like it doesn't need to be this,
That's what they're doing.
you know,
That's what
stiff.
they're planning on doing. I was happy to hear that because,
Yeah.
I mean, the days of being like wedged in theaters next to the person next to you that you don't even want to talk to or even admit they're there.
Oh, yeah.
Those days are over, man. It's going to be all about the big chairs and lots of space, and especially
Yes.
when the pandemic rolled around, it was a no-brainer. We just couldn't do it. So let's see what else. I did play some Iron Banner with the community this week. Up and
Hell
down
yes.
games. I got a little salty. Princess can attest. I got a couple salty
Not
games.
you.
You know, you run into the when you're in a full 6-stack, you're gonna team matchmake against other 6-stacks, and you'll cross these teams, and you look at the scoreboard and it's like 486 KD, 3.9 KD. You'll see all these KDs like 2 or higher, and you look at our team and it's like 1.2, 0.8, 0.5, and you're like, this game should have never happened. If they say in the matchmaking, if you go scroll over Iron Banner, it says tries to eliminate outliers, right? Outlying.
Yeah.
It's supposed to base everything on a group of skill within a skill level. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road, but there were a couple games where I was like, dude, no. This
Well,
game
and that's
shouldn't have
tough,
happened.
you know, especially with, you know, whatever your feelings are. Like there's less people, obviously,
Well,
in
of
the
course,
thing.
of course.
So it's like trying to match. I can't even imagine what it's trying to do to match 6 stacks against anybody.
That's
you know?
true. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in a 6-stack, it's definitely. I tell you what, I played on PC, the PC lobbies, and I had more fun on PC. I can't believe I'm saying this. I had more fun in PC lobbies.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then I switched over and played with Moonshine, and I think it was was it? Gee whiz, my mind is mush. Anyway, Deadpool and Merc, was it? Was it Deadpool? And
That sounds right.
And no, it might have been Monty Money. I think he was playing with us, and Monty Money had enough. He was like, "I'm out, man. I'm going to bed." And it was sweaty on console. Anyway,
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a good time though. You know, I play Iron Banner because I love play Iron Banner. But what else? Other than that, I think that's been it for me this week. I still need to run week 3 of the story. I haven't completed that yet, so I'll get to it eventually. We're not in a big hurry.
Man.
I've been working on my legend title. Been going around trying to get my Ingram drops in on the Cosmodrome, and I heard a lot of people are having a problem with that. So it is what it is, I guess. But all right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you catching up. Now it's time to get to our first topic, and we'll do that right after I take my mandatory bathroom break. Right back.
There it is. After this ad right here. Folks, do you shit your pants constantly? Are you an adult? Adult diapers are us is the
I'm gonna
thing
leave
for
that.
you.
Live chat. We're not going anywhere. That's just for our audio folks.
Oh, right,
That's
right,
for
yeah,
audio
yeah.
folks. Here we go.
You all can hear this, right?
Yeah. There we go. All right, here we go. 3, 2. All right, for our first topic of the week, for our roundtable episode, it's going to be me. I'm going to start us out tonight, and I know I made a pledge after the final Shape campaign was done, and we moved more into the episodic content that I was going to begin to play other games. When I say I just play Destiny in all my previous episodes these years, I really mean it. Even though it's taken me it's kind of taken as a meme to some degree, I really only had time to play in the Destiny verse. So as I have built up an enormous catalog of games I was hoping to play, quote, one day, now I've finally come to grips on how much I do have in my backlog. You guys ready for this? On Steam,
Oh,
I
boy.
have Doom Eternal, Jedi Fallen Order, Elden Ring, Age of Empires 2, which, in all fairness, that's a throwback game I've always played. XCOM,
go.
Enemy Unknown, Fallout New Vegas, The Witcher Wild Hunt, and City Skylines, and that's not even a complete list. On my PS5, I have Fortnite because of Elmer Fudd. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. I've bought that game.
Let's go,
Black Myth
baby.
Wukong I have. No Man's Sky I talked about in a past episode. That's all I can fit on my hard drive. So the games that are on my stored like library that I'll have to re-download, Apex Legends, Bloodborne, Warzone, Days Gone, Death Stranding, Demon Souls, Dirt 5, Far Cry 5, Final Fantasy X, Ghosts of Tsushima, the latest God of War, Godfall, Hell Let Loose, Elder Scrolls Online, Stray, that was a free game, Warframe, the latest Horizon Zero Dawn, Remnant 2, which I saw a lot of good cool stuff about, Baldur's Gate 3, haven't touched, and I did get Diablo 4 soccer. I did get Diablo 4. Haven't played it. And I got this really cool roguelike called Eternal.
Yeah.
I had 1 hour of gameplay on that one, by the way. See what I mean? So it's funny. I read a study about the last decade of gaming, and an interesting statistic came up that kind of blew my mind. According to the study, the population of gamers and hours played per month have been about the same from a decade ago. But the thing that surprised me is that they also found that these gamers played fewer games overall. With all the outstanding near photorealistic games out there, how can this be? With so much content to choose from, I would think there would be 1, more players, and 2, more variation of games being played. But what I found from this study is that we all tend to stick to our core games that we feel comfortable with and just push all the others to that later category, right? I mean, I got to think about this. I really wonder how game developers are trying to get our very short attention span to focus on that new game that they have coming out, that's also a live service with game passes and unlocks and currencies, new story content, seasonal and special events. I mean, I really feel for developers today trying to break into our core gaming environments and our routines. As more and more new players and games come out these days, I realize one thing. I'm never going to finish this backlog. Ever. If you do the math, I just don't have enough free time to play all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, I truly want to play these games, but what I think holds me back, if I really think about it, is that
grinding 2 other accounts. Oh, sorry.
Well, that too, but it's that I really get comfortable mastering 1 or 2 games. The controls, the timing, the knowledge of the ecosystem, the economies, not to mention the lore and story these games present to us. I don't know, but as I think about it more, I really start getting overwhelmed. So I had a question for you two, since you both seem to balance playing several games at once all the time. What is it, guys? What do you do, or what is your thought process going into more than just a couple games? Whoever wants to talk, it's up to you guys.
Well, the cool thing with the majority of the list of games you put out is a lot of them are like a single player campaign experience. So like, at least for those,
that is true.
It's an exact allotted amount of time to sit down and just get through that, which is great.
Right.
But there are plenty of games on there, Warframe. There was a couple more on that. Elder Scrolls Online, you were saying. There's a couple more games that, like Destiny, you have to have time to really grind to get to that end game content and everything. And yeah, that's where it gets tough, balancing all the game time. I do play a ton of games, but I usually have one that you're hyper focused and grinding in, and then the other ones I play are kind of ones you can kind of pop in and out of whenever, like Fortnite, where you're like, I'll play a couple rounds tonight with a couple people, or Helldivers, where you can jump in and do an operation here and there. But yeah, no, it's like you were saying, man, it's tough to have as many games as we have coming out that you can kind of lightly focus on, but people are trying to get you to hard focus on just their own individual game.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, I'm pretty much with FUD. Like right now, I'm hyper focused on Mass Effect 3 because I've got a reason to finish it, get done with it. So, but most single player games, I'm gonna play them, get to a point where I feel safe. Like there's a couple single player games I've played while Destiny's going on the story. I'll pick one day out of the week. Okay, Tuesday is reset. I'm gonna go do the story stuff. When I'm done with it, jump back to my single player game. Do whatever I gotta do in Destiny and be done. If it takes 1-2 days, and then jump back on the single player game. I used to be like Destiny only. You can ask Fudd because he's asked me plenty of times to play stuff, and I'd be like, "Nah, I'm doing this in Destiny. I'm doing this and that." And finally, I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna branch out and try to play something else." And as soon as I did, it was like, "Yep, Destiny's not my main game no more. It is, but it's not the one I'm gonna do every night. There's no reason to." So
Well, and something else you were mentioning, Todd, sorry to cut you off.
No,
but,
please.
You know, how you're mentioning how you feel, you know, safe and secure, and, you know, you're used to how one game, obviously I only play Destiny, right? Yeah, you're comfortable, you know, and that's the other tough part for these game developers is like, how do you make your game different, but at the same time it has to be same enough that people feel comfortable coming into that. Learning a new game, especially like me jumping around, I enjoy learning a new game.
Yeah.
But that's a skill set from being used to jumping into new games. If you've been in the same thing forever, whether it's Destiny or World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, and, you know, any of these, if Fallout was 76 or whatever, you
Fallout
know.
New Vegas. I've never played that one. I played the one before.
Yeah.
Fallout 4, I think. Yeah. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. But, you know, and that's another real tough part is that, like, if you're very used to where you're comfortable is making that jump to going, all right, I know I'm gonna have to learn something new, and that feels weird. Like, I mean, that's a big struggle I've had with a lot of people with Space Marines 2, which we were discussing. You know, I've had a lot of friends get into that, and it's just so different because it's kind of a, you know, you're in these big armor suits, so it's kind of a clunkier thing. It feels more like an Xbox 360 game in the best way, right? But I know a lot of people are struggling to get used to those kind of mechanics, and so they've kind of just backed away from the game. You know, I totally get it.
You know, and I'll think about it like this. I'll be working all day. I mean, I'm slammed right now. I get home.
Yeah.
I got basically from 10 o'clock to 1 a.m. to play. And then I watch a show and then I go to bed. That's my routine. And either I'll jump on like last night, I jumped on and played, or Wednesday, I actually jumped on and played Iron Banner till 1 a.m. Had a good time. Played with the community. Had a lot of fun. And, you know, I'm doing stuff I love to do and that I've not excelled at, but I've gotten comfortable and to the point where I like competing in PvP and Crucible and Destiny. And let's face it, man, it is such a feel good shooter playing in the Crucible. I did jump in and play the Black Ops 6 was it the beta, the weekend
open
beta,
yeah,
the open beta
yeah.
over the weekend, and
How'd you like that?
It all came back to me. I pretty much
Yeah.
I love the Omni movement, the diving and shooting and the backwards diving and stuff. I love that stuff. As in Battlefield, that's all I do is dive down to the ground. Man, I miss Battlefield. I really miss Battlefield. And then you know I've heard that there are some inklings now of Lampella or Zampella talking about he's now in charge of the next Battlefield series, and they're going back to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 days. More of a modern
I'm stoked
shooter.
for that.
My ears are perked up, but I've been fooled before, and I'm not going to pre-order that game, and I'm just going to have to wait and see. I'll wait till Skill Up plays it, and see what. He thinks of it,
There you go.
I'll let him do the big giant reviews that he likes to do on these games. I've always loved that about him. He does really good game reviews. Very cinematic when he does them. But you know, I get home and I'm tired. I spend time with the missus. I eat dinner. I take the dogs for a walk. I come in here and settle down for the night. And I'm thinking, okay, do I try to start playing Space Marines and try to learn how to play this game? Or do I run around, Skywatch and try to get more stuff toward my Legend title? It's usually a no-brainer because I'm so comfortable. Bungie has gotten me into that routine where I'm very comfortable. Just, they call it chores or whatever you want to call it. I feel like I'm doing something and accomplishing something.
But my question I have for you is it you feel comfortable or do you have a fear of missing out on something?
I don't know, man. I think the FOMO in Destiny is it's still there, but I don't think that the FOMO is as bad as it used to be. Like Witch Queen years.
I'll agree to that. Yeah.
Right. I agree with that, but I'm just hearing you talk and I feel like to me, I hear it a little bit that you have a FOMO there. Like you're afraid if you go play Space Marines.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss out on
you're gonna miss interacting with the community and something's gonna happen and you're gonna miss that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Remember, you can sit in a group in Discord while you're playing the game and listen to other people. I do it all the time.
I need to do that more
So-
often. That's for sure. But it's just that's the first topic because we kind of talked about it in a couple shows ago, and I mean, True Vanguard's has this problem right now. He's finally gotten into Space Marines and he's producing good content for it. But I followed True Vanguard ever since Battlefield days. I love watching his stuff in Battlefield. The latest gun, what was working and what wasn't, and that'll tie to your topic next, Fudd. But I really, I really miss that content, and that he was labeled that Destiny PvP guy. You know, that's what he does. That's the content he makes, and I've got to give him kudos. He finally says, you know what, I'm gonna try another game, and so help me God, let's go. Let's see if I can create content for it. But I'm not there yet, man. I'm not there yet.
And that's fine,
I
man.
still love the Destiny game. I still love playing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just that just crossed my mind as a good topic.
Yeah.
Talk.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, you know, as much as I'll make fun of you for only playing Destiny,
know.
like it's just fun jabs, you know.
It
But
is.
at the end of the day, life sucks. You know, whatever makes you feel good and comfortable at the end of the day, do that. But it's interesting. There has been this switch because I know you were kind of alluding to, you know, how many live service games have existed out there and how they're all trying to grab you and stuff. And like, there was a good run of years there where the big thing pushing in these live service games was FOMO. That if you weren't here, you were missing out on X, Y, Z, you know. And it's been interesting, especially this year, seeing a lot of live service games launch and then fail because a lot of the gaming community is like, that's not what we're after anymore.
Yeah.
So I think the next couple of years is going to be really interesting to watch, especially for you, as you've kind of reached the point where you're like, I'm willing to maybe look into trying some other games where it's not going to be a bunch of you have to do X, Y, Z. Like, it'll be easier for you to be like, all right, tonight I'm just going to sit down and do a couple missions in Wukong, you know, or, you know, work my way through this or that. Like, I think you've reached a point where it's a very positive point in gaming for you to then step out. Because the last 4 years, which of Destiny were really good, but at the same time, if you tried to step out, I mean, I got stuck in a ton of these games that was just like, oh my God, if I'm not, people in my Discord are ahead of me, but I want to play this other game, but I have to do this. So it's like, you're not enjoying yourself when you're grinding these other things because you want to be doing other things.
Yeah.
And then you're grinding and you're still behind. So it's like, it's a lose-lose.
So maybe you're right, Gator. Maybe it is FOMO a little bit. Maybe I still have FOMO playing Destiny. You know what? That's a good point. This is the way I thought I would fix it. I would just pick one night a week that I was going to start one game. And you know what? If I play it for 1 hour and then say I'm not having fun, I'll go play more Destiny for the remainder of my night. But I need to do that, man. It's such a hard habit to break because you get so comfortable with the ecosystem and logging in to play Destiny 2 every day. And I think this is probably the fact that the Destiny morale is a little low right now. It's a double-edged sword for me. I actually think it's good that people take a break from Destiny. I mean, it's a real low time right now, and they're trying to, you know, let us know what's coming up around the corner. Because I mean, if they didn't do that last week, people would wonder, why am I still in Destiny playing this game if there's not going to be a Destiny game down the road? And the fact that they verified that they're definitely going headstrong into continued content stuff gives me hope. But yeah, that's where I was at. I know of all the people I can talk to about this, it's you two, because you guys have been able to master that, where you've been able to branch off and play. Because I see you guys in Discord. RNG Gators playing Mass Effect 3. I'm like, that's Andromeda, right?
No. Sadly, it's
Andromeda.
not. It's still great.
Andromeda is its own game.
Andromeda. I tried Andromeda too, and didn't do it for me.
Don't start.
I'm sorry.
Don't
No
start.
Mass Effect 2. I'm sorry.
Abort. Don't do it.
Don't go down that road.
Don't do it.
Bangladesh.
I will switch my entire segment.
I take it back.
Yeah,
back.
don't you
That was
get
close.
fun started on
Oh
that.
my God, dude! I
I'm gonna
felt
need a
my
beer.
blood pressure rising.
I'm gonna need a
Holy
beer tonight.
shit.
I'm gonna need a beer. I can tell you that right now. I'm gonna need a beer.
As soon as you said Andromeda, I'm like, don't go there. Don't go
Don't
there.
do it.
The faces
But no,
are
again,
horrible. Okay, sorry.
No,
Sorry.
But
sorry.
to reiterate, you know, like, yeah, if you spend like a night playing something, and again, with most of your lists being single player things,
Yeah, that's
you can
true.
still have your comfortable time in Destiny,
Yeah.
and then if all you do is play other games that are single player, like the thing that'll draw you back is the story. So you can go into that to experience this awesome story. You can learn some new mechanics and stuff, but you still have your comfortable live service Destiny where you're grinding for stuff and doing,
It's not
and
going
that
anywhere.
kind of thing.
It's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
You know, my son, you know the reason I played Doom Eternal? My son forced me to download it on Steam, and he says, I will play it with you. You need to play something else, Dad. And I actually played it. It was fun. The blood splatting everywhere and jumping down, and I caught on pretty quick. I mean, the controls were fairly similar, and I had a good time. But I'm sorry, man. It's still not Destiny. It's still not Destiny. Destiny has spoiled the hell out of me. Destiny has ruined me for playing other games, because I'll start playing the game and I'm like, yeah, I've done this before. You know,
why aren't I floating across here? Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, it's fun, but I don't really care what this guy's saying in Doom Eternal. I could care less what this guy's saying. And then you go back to Destiny, it's like, Destiny's back. Okay. What are we going to do? Anyway, that was my topic.
First thing, get it out while you're playing another game. Get Destiny out of your mind. Quit comparing.
I know.
Don't sit there and go, don't look at, play the jaded girlfriend.
I know.
Don't look at your true love behind you going, why aren't you coming in the bedroom? Give me 5 minutes, you know.
I know, man.
Turn your location off, you know.
Turn your phone
Play
off.
that other game.
Close Discord. Yeah. Don't want to see what else is
you
doing.
know, the biggest thing is if you just go into another game with the mindset of, I'm just here to have fun in a game, you know, and that changes everything. Because you can have your, like we've been saying, your grinding raids and PvP and going for all the things. Like you have that in Destiny. You know, there's a lot of other games out there. It's just fun to sit down and be like, yeah, that was a game. Like I just had fun in a video game, and that's awesome.
You know,
those are good to have intermixed with whatever you're grinding out.
There's another fear I have. It's not FOMO. You know what that fear is? That I'm going to play these other games, and I'm going to forget about Destiny 2.
Yeah, it's not going to happen to you, buddy.
I don't think it'll happen to either. But that thought's in the back of my head. I'm like, what if I really get into Black Myth Wukong and I don't want to play anything else but Black Myth Wukong?
Well, and that's the thing.
But that's the
Black
thing,
Myth
though.
Wukong's going to end.
It ends, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like 30
it ends.
hours or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And then it's over. There's nothing else.
Boss fights. Dude, I grew up on boss fights in the arcades. I love boss fights. I get my ass kicked. Guess what? Start again and let's go. Let's try it again. This time, don't dash that time when he heads toward you. You need to go the other way and parry. Yeah, I know. It's...
Sure, but it'll always be there for you.
I know. I just need to remember that.
It's not going nowhere.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. I feel better.
Yeah, man, of course.
I feel better.
You look better.
Just send me the bill for the therapy. I'll Venmo you the money, man.
Baby, this one was on the house.
I feel like this was an intervention more than it was a roundtable discussion.
Right. I'm sure you're all wondering why randomly we were all brought cupcakes and all your favorite people, but
yeah. KJ in chat just said they just released an 8 terabyte SSD for the PS5. How much is that? How much is that 8 terabyte SSD there, KJ? I wanted to get a 2 terabyte one. It was a middle of the road, like a Samsung, $279. That's why I'm probably going to get a PS5 Pro, because it already comes with a 2 terabyte.
Dude, did you see the did you see the
collector edition?
The PlayStation 30 year, the 30-year PlayStation one.
Dude,
where it's got the colors of everything of the first PlayStation.
You know the bots are going to buy all those, and they're going to be on eBay for like $1,000 each, or maybe even $1,500 each. There's no way.
Well, they're going to be $1,000 out the gate anyway, but.
Jesus. No.
Well, I mean, you do know.
I have my point where it's just not worth it. As badass as that looks, the gray ones.
I heard you talking about hard drives and everything in the last episode.
Yeah.
And you know you can replace your hard drive inside the PlayStation.
Oh, it's one Phillips.
That's
that's it.
Yeah, that's what
it's
he just went and bought another NVM. You know.
But here's the thing. I've got a day one Gator. I've got a day one PS5. A friend of my daughter's got it. Don't ask me how. He probably was using bots. I don't know. Back when it was really tough to get, back in 2021, I think. So this is a 3-year-old console already. So I got to think about it. Do I invest more money, $300 into an SSD that'll double my size, or do I just spend the $800 or $700 forget the stand and all the CD drive.
Yeah.
I was talking to my guest last week, and I said, you know what? I already have a Blu-ray drive. It's in my PS4 in the other room. I got the Blu-ray drive. I don't need one here. And here's the thing: I bought Western Digital. Okay,
$999.
No, KJ.
For that Air
$1,000? No,
that's insane.
I'm sorry.
That's ridiculous.
I'm sorry. I mean, that's
Buy
great.
a pre-built
Eight
PC for
terabytes,
that
awesome.
price.
I could put
Yeah.
every game in my library on it for eight terabytes.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
yeah.
but you wanted me to play No Build Fortnite one night, so I downloaded Fortnite. It was 70 gigs of RAM. It was 70 gigs of memory. I'm like, wasn't this an online game? Why is it so big?
That's all
Anyway.
the extra. Yeah. Well, and that's another interesting topic for another time. Is
Yeah,
how
it
everyone
is, it
makes
is.
their game huge, so you
Yeah,
only
that's
have
true.
room for their game.
Well,
but,
actually, my last topic before we go tonight, we'll kind of brush on that. I'll get to
All
it
right.
later. But well, hey, speaking of which, thanks guys. Thanks for indulging me on that. Thanks chat for listening to my my therapy session tonight. I appreciate it. Let's get on to our next topic, and we'll do that right after this.
Runga, I thought you had a commercial for that one, right?
Wait, who's got the next commercial? No?
Come on,
Russia?
Runga. Yeah, I did the last commercial. It's your turn.
Do one of mine.
Yeah.
Do one of mine.
What are yours? What do you mean Sunday?
Damn. Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
No, I won't,
no.
do it. I
Sorry.
won't do it.
My
I won't do
bad.
it.
Things not exciting in your life? Nipple clamps.
Oh my
Use
God.
code GDC for an air code, probably.
Does anybody need to use the bathroom? Anybody good?
I'm feeling great.
I think I'm
feeling
good right
great.
now.
I think I'm good for
I
a while.
am kind of before the last break. You said it was your bathroom break, and then you didn't go to the bathroom. And then
Well,
you
that's just
kept
for the
show
audio
going.
listeners. That's for the audio listeners. I don't need
It
a
kind of
bathroom.
ruined my immersion. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Sorry, man. You know, I
I
can't.
mean, the last
you guys can go
the
and
last
talk.
time me and
to
him
chat, I'll
recorded,
go-
he went to the bathroom.
I'll go
I'm
use the
just saying.
bathroom. I can go do
If
that.
you need to go to the bathroom, go for it. I'm just saying. You know, it was
I'll go one more topic, and then
Okay.
then I'll go take a mandatory.
go
bathroom
tinkle.
break.
That's a
Yeah,
good
then
call.
I'll do it. Yeah. Hey, all right, good deal. Well,
You're the best deal.
you're gonna be next, Fud, right? You're next on the,
Oh
on
shit.
the docket.
Yep.
Okay,
sure
here
Oh
we go.
can.
shit! Oh shit!
Got to count it down for our audio listeners here. Here we go. In 3, 2.
10, 9. Oh.
All right, Elmer Fudd Games. You're up next, buddy. What topic are you bringing to the table tonight, brother?
Anyway.
Now you're speechless.
Yeah, no. No, so something I kind of wanted to bring up.
Okay.
It's something that has been brought up on my show, and I'd love to discuss it at some point, which is right now. And not just the streamer culture, but what has happened over on the TikToks and the Instagram Reels and the YouTube Shorts and everything is the meta culture, right? Where there was a time, thinking like original COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, right? Where air quotes meta was the noob tube, as everyone recalls.
Yeah, sure.
And if you used it, you got made fun of
Yes.
horribly.
Roasted.
It was the quickest way to get kills, most damage, right? But if you used it, everyone ripped you to shreds, right?
Remember those days.
And we've got to a point, I definitely noticed it big time, 2020 when the old virus struck, that things took a turn in the gaming world where it became, I'm not going to mess with guns and figure out what feels right or what class build feels perfect. To me, it's all about an update happens. You just go into YouTube or TikTok, you type in, all right, what's the fucking best thing to use? And you go, all right, cool, we're set with that, and I'm gonna jump in. There's no testing yourself. There's people that's their entire livelihood is just making meta videos. Like there's no more of picking and choosing and playing and having your own choices. It happens in WoW where there's skill trees that you're supposed to make yourself feel good. Everyone just goes to Icy Veins and whatever it tells you to choose, you choose. You go into Destiny, whatever the god roll is, you just hunt for that. And if there's something else you like that feels good, people go, well, that's not the god roll, and you move on. Warzone, same thing. There's the one gun with the one thing that everyone's supposed to use. And it gets exhausting to kill someone, run up, and they're using the same gun you are with the exact same loadout of everything. And there's no spice to life to anything. And it's like, why? Why is this the place where we're at now?
Yeah, I hear you, man. I remember those days too. Do you want to go first, Runga?
No, go ahead.
I remember playing Call of Duties in the early 2000s, and I remember we used whatever the hell we wanted to use. For me, it was the M16, man. I love pulse rifles. Even back then, I love pulse rifles. And there was really no meta talk other than noob tubes. And like you said, if people saw you using a noob tube, you would just lose all respect. People would lose all respect for you because you were crutching basically on the noob tube, where you were just launching it. You're reloading and just relaunching because you had unlimited ones, and you just relaunch it into foxholes and stuff. And it's kind of a cheesy way to play the game. And I remember that, man. Everyone was razzing the noob tubers. I had my favorite rifles, and I just got better at using the rifle that I really enjoyed. I mean, remember in Call of Duty, it was all about unlocking all the attachments and then unlocking all the perks like silent steps, and as you ranked up in your multiplayer level, once you got to level 40, you were able to unlock this great perk that really works good in the game, but it had nothing to do with the gun. It had more to do with the style of play or some benefits you got on the map. So that's what made us grind, man. And of course, as we played more with that gun, we unlocked more attachments for it. And in fact, that's the way Call of Duty, I noticed even in Black Ops 6, that's the way it still works today. I haven't played Call of Duty in a long time, but you still go to the gunsmith and you unlock and start adding sights and grips and muzzle and stocks. And man, that brings me back to my Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 days. My goal when I played the Battlefield games was I would work on one gun at a time, unlock everything available for it, and then move on to the next gun. I'd work on assault rifles first, then I'd work on sniper rifles, then I'd work on, I don't know, whatever rifles were left. I mean, scout rifles. God, there's some good scout rifles in Battlefield too. And I really never went to YouTube. I never really cared what the meta was. I just used what I thought was working good, what felt good in the game. And I totally get what you're talking about, man. There's one thing I hate seeing in the Crucible these days when I'm playing in comp, or when I'm playing even Iron Banner last night, is the sliding shotgunners, man. Everyone wants to slide and shotgun. It's just what everybody does. I buck that. I will never use a shotgun in Crucible. You'll never see one on. I've used a chaperone a couple times. Shout out to Briggs.
Yeah.
But I use a sidearm because I'd rather jump backwards and shoot them before they could get close enough to me. And I've really honed that. And I've got several sidearms that I love using, but it's not the meta. It's not the meta. The meta, if you're really playing to win, you should have a shotgun. And I go against it, and it's probably to my detriment. But, I had a younger friend and a clanmate long ago when Warcry and I had a gaming clan, and he just started using Twitch. It was right when it was brand new, back in the early 2000s. And he was streaming one night while we were on the yacht. Remember the yacht map on Call of Duty?
Yeah,
where you jumped the lower levels of the yacht and upper levels.
That was a great map.
I love that map. Still remember those maps. They were so well designed. But because he was streaming, his attitude, instead of having fun, hey, 30, what's up? Instead of having fun, playing the game, his attitude was totally sweat. His attitude changed to, I have to be good because now people are watching me play. So now I got to switch. And he didn't kid around with us anymore. He ended up going to a pro team, by the way. Scuba Steve was his name. I don't know if he'll ever hear this podcast.
Wow.
He was a younger guy. In fact, I was helping him with some business books when he was going to college, some books I'd read and stuff. And God, I remember those days, man, where as soon as that Twitch stream was live, and back then it was glitchy and you couldn't hear half the audio half the time. It was brand new. But because he turned Twitch on, all of a sudden the fun was sucked out of the room. It was all about, we got to win. We got to win now. And then he would start getting down people's throats because we weren't playing. We weren't playing as a team. We weren't doing this or that. It's just like the pressure it was a pressure cooker, man. Everything just started building up. And, now it just seems like this meta gaming scenario, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was brought on from streaming, because streamers have to win. They have to be good, or no one's going to tune into them. No one gives a crap about an average player. They want to watch the God Killer. They want to go out there and watch the guy who's going to get a 4 kill streak in Destiny 2 in the Crucible and keep moving on. And, you know, with the scoreboard, I mean, I can feel the pressure when True Vanguard plays live. He gets below a 1-5 and he feels like ashamed. I'm like, dude, that was a really tough game. But you knew 30 Still Gaming's in the chat. He says he knew a Scuba Steve too. He wonders if it's the same one. There's a lot of Scuba Steves.
Yeah,
Thanks
it's
to the movie. But now, you know, the developers can easily update their sandbox, you know, because we're online and we're all part of live service now. It's all about what's hot and putting down what's not. Like I tried the syncopation last a couple nights ago in Iron Banner, and I tried to use it because it's an adaptive pulse rifle. It's a 390. It fires slower, but it's super accurate. I wasn't getting the kills. People were knocking me out with freaking Kvostovs. So I switched to my blast furnace, the aggressive burst, and my peace of mind, which is my rapid fire, and it was just the game just picked right back up again. So it would be nice if the gaming developers out there stopped worrying about making one game or one gun in the game the favorite gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'd be nice if granted, the sandbox team for Destiny has been really good. It has been probably the most balanced. You know, you can use just about any variety of weapon out there, but there's still the ones that you have to use and the ones you just can't use right now. Sniping. I mean, my God, they made the sniping so bad. They made flinch so bad in sniping now, and the fact that you can't one hit kill most people anymore. I put my sniper rifle away. I had so many fun games sniping and getting those one-shot headshots, you know, sniping. And I'm sure there's some rifles like the aggressive and heavy burst or heavy snipers that can still do it, but they're so large and unwieldy, it just isn't fun to play with. But it's just like the first thing I do when I jump into Call of Duty now. I'm like, what's working the best? What's working the best?
That's every time I come back, you know, to Warzone it's just a quick Google search. What's the meta this season? Okay. I guess that's just all I'm using. Well, it's like even in just Destiny 2's lifespan, not Destiny the whole, just Destiny 2's lifespan. I remember recording back when my podcast was about Destiny. We talked about slide shotgunning and how it was hilarious and you'd make fun of people who did it.
Yeah.
And now within the same lifetime of the game, it's the thing you have to do. And if you're not doing it, you're a crutch for your team, right? Or you're actually broken for your team, right? In Warzone, I distinctly remember the moment Warzone launched, right? Like right when everyone went into shutdown. If you're going to launch a game, that's when you launch it, right? But I think it was like the second patch cycle, the Grow, which had awesome iron sights. That became like the meta.
Right.
But that was still a time where if you ran into someone using it, you're like, this fucking guy, like he's just using the Grow, right? And that was not that long ago. That was 3 years ago, right?
I remember hearing that word in YouTube.
Yeah. You'd find it and you go, God, another guy using this fucking gun, right? And you made fun of people for using the Grow. 2 patches later, everyone was on board with whatever the meta is. That's all we're using. That's all we're playing. That's it. And no one made fun of each other for it anymore. Like it's in just the span of 3 years, it went from like, oh God, a meta guy to just, this is all we do. It's just fascinating to me how that's everyone just wants to be, everyone's looking up in COD, like what are the glitchy movements you can do? What are, you know, what's the meta for guns? What's the glitchy thing you can do? How can you get through this side of the map? Like everyone plays every match like it's a professional game now.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's come from streamers, TikTok. I think TikTok is probably one of the worst.
Really?
It started on streaming like Twitch and Facebook and YouTube and stuff, but I think the immediacy of like just having a cool clip or something on TikTok really progressed that to such a level where there's people that don't even watch streamers. They just get their content through a search on TikTok now. And like, what's the meta? Boom. Here's a 5-second video. Here's what you need. Here's the attachments. Or like, here's what you need for your setup for your Titan. Here's what you need for your Paladin and WoW. Here's like, and it's just boom, immediate, and you're gone. And that's all people make is just meta videos. And it's just like they're making money and their livelihood is just off that. And 3 years ago, that wasn't a thing.
Right.
It's fascinating to me.
I miss those days of just exploring
Yeah.
weapons felt good. You know, I didn't care about how, I mean, they had to perform, but if you got good using it, the AN-92 in Battlefield 4, it was just a put-up, 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 put-up. It's a Russian rifle that shoots a bullet behind each other. It's a 2-shot. That's why I love the heavy burst now that they've come out with in Destiny. But I remember it was just so many good headshots with that thing. And it wasn't the most powerful rifle in the game. It just was one I really got really good at using. Sorry, Gator. Go ahead, man.
No, you're good. I mean, y'all are talking about the meta. One game that has come out recently, Helldivers 2. You can use whatever you want to in that game. I know Fudd will agree with me on this because they talked about it on one of his podcasts. And now with what they've done, I mean, I remember when Helldivers first came out, I would start getting TikToks of, hey, this is what you need to run. And then I'd be running with Fudd and I'd be like, what's, and he's like, no, you can use whatever you want to. I'm taking this. You take, you can say, since you're taking this, let me take this. And it all works interconnect together. You don't have to, everybody doesn't have to run the backpack. Everybody doesn't have to run the laser bot. Everybody doesn't have to run this mortar strike,
Right.
I can run what I want to and they can run what they want to, and we'll see how it works together. If it don't, well, next game we'll switch it up and try something else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, that game, that's one thing I do like about Helldivers 2 is I can jump in, even though I haven't played in a while, I could probably jump in, use some of the older stuff since I don't have the new stuff, and still be able to kill stuff, compete, and be helpful, and not just be like, oh, go sit in this corner, we'll get you,
Yeah,
So-
and that's what makes especially that game such a special thing, especially in line with what my thing has been, is like when the game launched, there was an air quotes meta, right? And that got patched out immediately.
Exactly.
And people who only made meta content couldn't make content for that game. And so obviously the numbers for that game plummeted. I mean, a lot of other things happened, but there was no just clickbaity meta videos. So that didn't work out. It's just like people killing each other and laughing is all the content for that game, which is what we used to just watch for any game, which has been very refreshing. But yeah, it's interesting to have a game come out where people can't just make meta content and then they all leave. They're all gone to whatever the next thing they can make their clickbaity thing about.
Yeah,
It's like just fire up Twitch and go look at your list and look at what everybody's playing.
it's that easy. 'Cause everyone uses the
just
same
boom.
stuff.
Yeah. And all these people who are like, I wonder if I want this game. Well, go on Twitch. Everybody's playing it. I'm gonna run out and buy it. And then they're like, well, this game sucks, even though this guy liked it. It's like, well, you kind of fell for it. Instead of doing the research, you just ran out and buy it.
Yeah, and the sandbox
Take your time.
team, they are so powerful now. Whatever sandbox teams for PvP games out there, they have so much power in directing what weapons what people are gonna use the next season or whatever the next reset is.
Yeah.
But in fact, Zombie Pops in the chat said it's the pressure that they pay their bills streaming, that they have no choice. They can't try other weapons. They have to go with whatever the meta is because they have to compete at the highest levels. I don't know, man. I miss the days of Battlefield where I just went through the list of guns and just used everything. And then and after I got all of them done, and by the way, that was an extensive list. That was a lot of
Very
hours.
much so.
A lot of hours. I mean, you had to unlock the FLIR scope on these guns. You had to get like 1,000 headshots with it. It took a while. And that's per weapon, guys. That's how deep the progression was for Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. And I really miss those days. But
I do too.
the one thing that Battlefield will never have on Destiny is that gun feel. It's so much crisper and so much better. And I get it. It's an arena shooter versus a full open world shooter. Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna trigger everybody tonight. That's my goal. I want everyone to go off. But
I'm sorry. Did he say something? I fell asleep. I'm sorry.
He started talking about Destiny again. Yeah.
sorry, I only play Destiny. Yeah.
No, I'm just teasing.
No,
No,
but,
my
I mean,
favorite
Yeah.
my favorite Battlefield game is Bad Company 2 and
A
Battlefield 3.
fucking
Bad
man, dude.
Company
I
2.
missed it. I missed the boat
I
on that.
swear, if they would remake that in today's game, I
Oh.
loved Bad Company 2.
Incredible.
I had so much fun with friends on the 360 playing that.
Well, and that was
God,
one
I
of
love
those
that
you could
game.
play. You could use any gun, and it'd work.
Gun.
They
We talk
had they
about-
added World War II guns, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm still effective using this. But
I mean,
is there a way? Is there a world? Right? Because this is still a new thing. 3 years ago, this switch happened in the gaming sphere, where And I'm someone who streams. It's not my livelihood at all. I just do it for fun, right?
Right.
But I'm aware that the high-end streaming culture has really done some weird shit to the gaming community, right? As a whole. Is there a place where we get away from that, where we can just like, let's just play and figure things out and have fun and people can use things? Or is this just because this switch has happened where everyone wants to just, it's very accessible to get into. Everyone's just making clips for TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. Like they're not even making full videos. It's just for the quick click, click on, click off. Is that just where we are forever now? Or is there a way to get back to where we just enjoy things and have fun?
But yeah, you have that, but now you also, the game makers see that, so they give these early copies to those streamers that have those high viewers, because they know their communities that are diehard watchers are going to watch, and it's going to help sell that game or whatever change they made.
Streamers sell them. Streamers sell games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they know that, and I don't think it's going to change. I really don't. That's why I said, like, you can fire up Twitch now, and everybody was, when the Wukong game came out, my whole list was that. When Space Marines came out, that's what my whole list was.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the thing, is every once in a while a game will come out that's just fun, right? And you'll see everyone just playing that and having fun. And that is refreshing, right? But the rest of the time, like we were saying, it's just meta this, rock and roll and that. But yeah, it is nice every once in a while. It's just fun. That does still happen, which is awesome.
I remember,
but it's just interesting.
I remember when I jumped into Battlefield 2042 when I had a podcast about it. Lord, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
How many episodes did you have? What, like 3?
I think
I'm glad you ended it.
I think I had
the week before I was going to be on it. You piece of.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I was lining up guests. I was so pumped. That Battlefield 2042 was back. It was, and then I jumped in there, and it's like, okay, this one gun, everyone just uses this one gun because it's broken. Basically, it's broken. It just kills everybody in 3 shots. So I was to the point where I couldn't do what I used to do in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. I can't go just use anything and have a fighting chance in PvP. But like you said, man, streamers, they sell the games, and the developers know this. And and I'll even tell people who want to get better in PvP, go watch streamers, because they're all going to play at the highest level. I learned so much from watching streamers play Crucible, because I would learn how they would move around the maps. I would learn where their sight lines are. I would learn how long they would stay and aiming down the sights. You can learn so much from watching a high level player on Twitch or YouTube. And I learned so much from watching that. So, I mean, that's a good thing about it, is if you want to learn how to get better at the game, watching streamers definitely does help. But the downside is the game becomes so one-dimensional because everyone just uses slide shotguns. Slide shotguns, to me, that's the noob tube for me. When I see people slide shotgun, when I try to blink over them and they just wait there and just go boop, I'm like, noob tube. Guy, obviously, you got a big circle on the screen. All you got to do is just move it and line it up with a body, and it's an instant kill. Okay, I'm not gonna. No, I told myself I wasn't gonna go down. I wasn't gonna be Salty Gator tonight. But it's just
salty. That's what Roundtable's for, baby.
It's just so freaking easy to use a shotgun. I mean, it is. Try using a sidearm when you have to get the headshots when that guy's running at you with a Titan Slam. Just saying.
Especially you got to complete them sidearm bounties.
Yeah. In a raid, yeah.
Well, anything else you guys want to bring up? That was a good topic, man. You told me you were going to talk about that.
Yeah.
That was a good topic. No,
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now
I got some stuff off my chest. I feel better.
Okay. All right. Well, for our audio listeners out there, that means it's time for this week in Destiny.
It's broke.
Shit's broken, y'all. Shit's broken.
Shit's broken.
Shit is broken.
And there's a movie and artwork and a cat.
And Titans are going to be so overpowered. I mean, I love what they're doing to the Titans. They're making them have all these defensive skills, and really going to be able to support the team. I really think it's going to be good. So,
And they need to, like, that's like, I've been a Titan main forever, right? Hell yeah, brother. But it's like,
it's going to be fun next season.
There a lot of people don't want Titans on their teams right now because they're just not where they need to be. So
30 nailed it. I mean, I've met 30 in real life. We have lunch several times, and we always go down the battlefield because it was such a flop. It was such an embarrassment for DICE Studios. But he says here, that's why I loved games like Battlefield. Hell Let Loose, working with a team. You have a good team, it doesn't matter the meta. And I tried Hell Let Loose. It is so hardcore, man. It is so hardcore. But it was rough. So actually, I don't need to go to the bathroom. I'm good.
I am going to step away for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to tinkle.
I'm gonna check with.
I'm going to kiss her.
Base. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll be back in a second.
I'm gonna check.
I'll be right back.
All right. I'm gonna chat with chat here. Yeah, I mean I really miss Battlefield. I really do. It's the kind of thing where I would jump on Battlefield 3, and Battlefield 4 was fun too. Even though DICE just has the glitchiest games. Everything DICE does is so... I've never played such broken games sometimes. And I remember running across the islands, where you had those PT boats that would run around and shoot everybody to death. That was one of my favorite maps. I can't remember the name of the map. I remember running across the island, and my player would stop and jiggle because it couldn't go forward. And I had fantastic internet, but the game just couldn't let me... Don't want me to clip that. But no one wouldn't let me get to the point I'm trying to get to. I would go 3 steps forward, and then I would glitch backwards. It was so frustrating. But what kept me playing Battlefield 4 was the fact that you could play an entire game for an hour and forget about life, forget about what's going on in the house, forget about whatever's going on in life, and you were totally enveloped in a war. It was probably the closest thing to being on the battlefield other than actually being in the armed forces and actually seeing this shit in person. So it was such good memories, man. And I have teams. I have buddies that I still message today on WhatsApp. Remember that app, WhatsApp? Still have guys that I message on WhatsApp where we talk about the good old days of Battlefield. And they're just, the chat is starting to build up now because everyone's hearing about Jack Frags coming out with these videos about he got a sneak peek at the map. And I don't know. The fact that Vince Zampella, who has made some really good Call of Duty games, COD 4 comes to mind, makes me have at least a little bit of enthusiasm when it comes to the next Battlefield game. They're getting rid of the specialists. They're going back to the class. They're going back to the class members. You got your engineers, you got your supply class, you got your medics, then you got your assault class, which are your guys who run around like crazy and just disrupt everything. I really miss those days, man. I really do. So for that fact alone, that gives me just a little bit of hope that Battlefield will be back to where it used to be, and even more hope that it won't be glitchy like most DICE games are, because DICE is the worst. Maybe it's because they have so much going on at all. They have the destruction all around. Whole skyscrapers, if you shot them enough with tanks, would literally just crumble in real time while you're playing the game. I don't see many games doing that anymore, .30 and Still Gaming. It is going to be with a private army against NATO. That's the problem. He is a Call of Duty guy. This is not Call of Duty. They're going to turn Battlefield into COD. I don't know, 30. I don't know, man. I really like Call of Duty. The problem with Call of Duty is the maps are so stinking small. They're smaller than Destiny maps, and Destiny is an arena shooter. But when I played the beta, and I played several maps, the Black Ops 6 beta, every time I'd spawn in, I was 5 steps away from an enemy or a bunch of enemies aiming their sights down at me and killing me. It was just so frustrating. There were choke points where everyone would just sit behind cover and just shoot each other. And you couldn't really flank because the maps are so small. I even tried to play the outside of the map. like the old days where you played outside the map to stay off radar, or at least to keep everything in front of you so there wasn't a guy laying down and just watching you run by and shoot you in the back. That's so frustrating, and it's probably part of the reason why I gave up on playing Call of Duty years ago. But the thing I love about Destiny, and I know 30, you're tired of the Destiny talk, but this is a Destiny podcast, is the radar is always on. Destiny or Bungie wants there to be a fight. They want two players to see each other on radar, and it magnetizes them to fight. That's what I love about the Crucible. The fact that the radar encourages a fight. So they made the Battlefield 2042 map smaller. They felt a little smaller, but they were still much bigger than a Call of Duty map. They were still, man, what if they brought back the old maps, 30? What if they brought back the old Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3 maps? The old warehouse maps, I don't know, running all of the tanks, jumping into a tank and just going and just, and if you when you used a tank in Battlefield, you had to have skill using it, otherwise people would just destroy it really quick. But yeah, Destiny 1 PvP, I mean, quite honestly, PvP in Destiny hasn't really changed a whole lot, other than the fact that Destiny 1 PvP, remember, was 30 frames per second. Now we're playing at 60 and 120 and 240 if you have the PCs that can run it. I mean, I can run 4K 120 frames on my PC right now. I tried it for one game and it was just too much. It was too much. It was so in your face. I just wasn't used to that. But 60 frames at 120 frames, I mean 60 frames or 120 frames at playing on playing Crucible and Destiny, it's a sweet spot. It's just so fun. It's just so fun to play. But it's why I'm making this Crucible series, because I want more people to try it. I know there's a lot of people out there who just play the story, who just play Gambit, who just play Strikes, but they say no, Crucible, And I went a whole year in Destiny 1 and never played Crucible because I was so burnt out on Call of Duty. And I missed so much fun. So many Iron Banners that they came out with, so many weapons they came out with the first year of Destiny 1. I still regret it. But it was that Thorn mission. Remember, Gator, that Thorn mission? You had to get void kills in the Crucible to earn the Thorn. And if you got your KD was sub 1, your percentage went down. Can you imagine them putting that in the game now? People would lose their frickin' mind, man, if they went into the Crucible and their progress went down. Now Bungie gives you like a participation trophy. They're like, "Oh, just play the Crucible, and we'll give you some percentage points up toward your goal." That's all you gotta do. Just play.
Hell, you can go play private matches and get it now. You know. That's
another thing. Hammer Crasher brings us up. He was just done playing private matches. That is one thing Bungie definitely needed to do, because we would have scrims all the time, and when the game was over, nobody got anything for it. But now you can play private matches and actually get weapon and armor drops. I don't know, Hammer, if it gives you PV, gives you points or towards your season pass or anything, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I just reminiscing about Battlefield days, Fud.
Oh yeah. So I think my wife's walking the dog, so I couldn't find her before she goes to work. So she might knock on the door in the next 10 minutes,
dude.
and I'll
That's
have to
fine.
step away real quick. But
No problem, dude.
just so you know.
Well,
Cool.
it's RNG Gator's up next with his topic. So
Can I say one more thing just real quick?
Yeah, man.
For on the show, right?
Oh, we're not recording right now, but we are live.
Yeah, let me know when you're recording. Okay. Yeah, let me know when you're recording.
All right, okay. Gator, you ready? What did you decide to talk about, by the way? I know you gonna mention both? Mention both.
Are you talking about Marathon and the Bungie mobile game?
Or you can talk about the first topic you were talking about, the Destiny killer. Whatever you want to talk about, man. My last topic of the night kind of, at least indirectly, goes into that subject. Why games?
We'll go with your topic. We'll roll with your topic on that one. I'll go with the Marathon thing.
All right, cool.
I found.
Yeah, we got some leak info, guys. That's RNG's going to bring into next about the future of Destiny stuff here, or I'm sorry, Bungie stuff. So,
Yeah, this ain't Destiny.
all right.
I mean, it can be.
I am going to, I'm going to go ahead and start the recording. I'm going to go use the bathroom like really quick.
Okay.
Or I'll tell you what, can you guys talk to chat for a few minutes? I'll be like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll leave the chat in good hands. Be right back.
Sex. Oh.
Need to pick me up? Stick a fork in the light socket.
Don't got a fork? Use a gum wrapper.
It'll give you the shock of your life.
Have you always wanted to have Doc Brown from Back to the Future's hair? Simple solution.
Put a fork in the light socket.
That's all you need, baby.
Even if you don't have hair, it'll grow it for you.
It'll grow it for you. Yeah. I mean, 9 out of 10 dermatologists agree. And they have nothing to do with it, but they do agree that a fork in the light socket will grow your hair at exponential rates.
All right,
Okay, he's gone.
What y'all want to
talk about it.
Yeah.
So Destiny's dead. Right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Dead game. Stop playing.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere. I don't want to make any comments because I think that's one of your guys' things we'll be talking about.
You're good. No, when he said Apex was on his, I don't think I'm like, don't install that.
Don't save yourself the time. Don't.
Save
it's not worth.
time.
I've been burned too many times. That's one I can never go back to.
I have friends that are, Morgan, they're like,
that are addicted to it.
We're doing customs. You want to play? I'd have to install the game. No, I'm good.
I think I'd rather put bamboo sticks under all my fingernails and wait for my heart to explode than play Apex Legends again. But I'll play Warzone again. That also is a terrible time anymore, but I'll play that again. Fortnite is actually really good right now.
I'll play Fortnite anytime. Yeah, I'll play that before I play Apex.
Amen.
So.
Well, that's the thing is you can still have lobby, and obviously there's bots too, but you can still run into actual players who are like crouched and looking at the ground and walking forward. Like that still happens. It's great. Any other BR, it's just the sweatiest of the sweats.
Have you tried the new Dr. Doom mode yet in Fortnite?
I have not. My son has been playing a ton of it, and he is loving it.
I've seen people play it. I haven't done it myself, so
yeah.
Yeah,
Apex when it first came out, man, was such a beautiful time in gaming. And I mean, for the first long while of that game, it was really good. And then just as time went on, and that's, and that also goes with another topic for another time is how, a lot of these battle royales or, Crucible and Destiny. I mean, any PvP mode in a game that's been out as long as it has been, the only people that are still playing it are the people that have been grinding and are crazy good at it. So if you go into any Apex lobby, even if you first start the game, there's not very many new Apex players. So it's going to fill your lobby with people that are grandmasters, You're just going to get shit on. You go into Warzone, same thing. The only people that are still playing Warzone are people who are insanely good at Warzone, and so you're going to get shit on. Fortnite always has new people joining it, which is the beauty of it, So you can constantly have you can have crazy sweaty nights, but you can still have that moment of like, oh, hey, I'm doing well in this match. It's great.
But yeah, I would tell you, Fortnite, I never got into it when it was build. When they brought out no build.
Oh, yeah.
That's what brought me into Fortnite. And
I tried.
I'm one of those when my son was little, he was always into it. Had to watch the stuff. He was always, there's an event, Dad. We can't go nowhere today. I want to watch it. Blah blah. I'm like, this is stupid. Why are you spending money on this? As soon as no build came out and I started playing, I'm like, I want this skin. I want this. Oh my God! Now I see what my son's talking about. Oh, there's a thing this weekend. I want to be there. I want to watch it. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And my son's playing Destiny. I'm going into Fortnite, and he's over here grinding Destiny, and I'm going, we have flip-flops.
My, how the turntables turn.
Tables have turned, yeah.
Well, yeah. No, the first time I realized, like, oh, this is actually really fucking fun was a great day.
Yeah.
RNG, you ready, bud? Ready to do it?
You want to record so Fuck can say what he wants to?
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
Go into mine, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Wait a minute. Do you want to add this to the last part you two were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll add it.
Just a little addition.
All right, here we go. Ready? 3,
ready.
2. Fudd, you had something else you wanted to say about your topic?
Yeah, just real quick, because I already can see the comments coming in because I didn't word one particular part correctly enough. I'm not against being competitive and that being that crowd that wants to push yourself to be the best you can be, right? That wasn't what the topic was about at all. I can already see the comments happening. Todd, you don't like competitive gamers. That's not it at all. It's the fact that every single person in every single lobby is just doing the one thing to become the best. And that's it. I just want to make sure that the comments weren't, you hate competitive gamers, because that's not what any of that was about. If you're competitive and you're pushing yourself to be the best, do it.
All right, I got a challenge.
I just want to clear the air on that.
I got a challenge for those out there playing Crucible or Call of Duty or what's that game, Fortnite you guys are playing?
Yeah.
Use something off meta and get good at using it. That's my challenge to you. Get good. Get good, Scrub.
Get good.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
add that in.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I already saw Kingsley commenting. Jesus Christ.
He in here? I didn't see him.
No, he's just a massive
No.
Crucible guy.
Okay.
So, you know.
I needed that tonight. After the start we had tonight, I needed that. Thank you, brother. All right, RNG, you're up, buddy. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2. All right, we're going to go to RNG Gator next. RNG, what are you bringing to the table tonight, sir?
A topic.
Hey.
Yeah. All right, let's go with it. That's it. Topic. All right, let's run with that.
We're doing a topic.
Yeah, I like the letter T. It's really nice.
Ends with
I
a
like
C.
the letter C because that's the first letter in my name. You know. So,
Yeah.
I heard I'll lead in. I heard we got some leaks out there in the interwebs, RNG Gator. You want to shed any light
Yeah.
on that stuff?
Yeah, one of the discords I'm in, one of the D2 league discords I'm in, I was looking through it this afternoon and saw some marathon leaks about more information about what the game's about, what it's going to be like. They've come out this leak, if all this is true or not. I got some stuff from Paul Tassi, from some guy from a guy named Zaid Ali. He said the gameplay of this game is going to be similar to Tarkov, but more bungie-fied.
Good.
It isn't going to be hero focused, but rather class focused. There's two
There's still a
maps
chance for customization, maybe?
There better
there's
be.
2 maps currently in playable state. One's on a planet in an abandoned colony. One's on the marathon ship. We don't know how many maps will be at launch. That's just what they've seen so far.
Let's keep in mind, extraction shooter maps are enormous, right? 2 maps is kind of
It
big.
can be.
Okay. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah.
There's feedback. The feedback here recently has been more positive. They've got a trailer in production, I guess, come out. Marathon is also the new player experience is being emphasized to avoid the Destiny new player controversy.
Good. Good start.
So, yeah, anything just make it better than the new player experience in Destiny. It's not going to be that hard.
There isn't a new player experience in Destiny.
There isn't.
Yeah,
correct.
there isn't.
One thing, developers are still a bit worried, and morale are still is low. Because I guess with all Bungie, Sony's, relationship right now, and it's not gonna. It probably won't be free to play. They're looking at like a $40 price point, like Helldivers.
What other game came out for $40 that died instantly?
That's what I was about to say. The whole
Concord, anybody?
Concord thing, that's tough.
But that was a hero shooter,
re-
and that was 5 years behind its time.
Yeah,
Overwatch
Yeah,
is
but at the
Overwatch
same
has been
time-
overplayed.
But the loot,
Sorry.
the Tarkov is the same boat, man. That whole game series has been rock and rolling for about the same amount of time.
But why?
Like,
Why do you
that's
think
tough.
that is? Do you think it's because, multiplayer, they're making their own content, right? Every game is different.
I think it's just the following for Tarkov. There's just people
Okay.
that are hardcore about it.
It is
Tarkov
hardcore.
to me doesn't.
It's
I'm
too
not a big
hardcore.
fan of Tarkov.
I'm not
It's
either.
just,
Yeah.
I've
But
tried,
again,
it's just not
there
my type
is
of
a
game.
massive player base for such a
Yeah.
game. That's why,
There is.
I can't off the top of my head remember another one which says a lot of things, but I have friends that I have friends I used to stream a bunch of different games with back in the day, and they got into Tarkov, and probably over the last 3 years, that is the only thing they play every night. And you try to get to somewhere else, they're like, it's like you, Gator, with Destiny. They're just like, I'm comfortable here. It scratches an inch. Like, I can just go and do this thing. And if they're in that. Like, that's what it's there for. But, if they can pull off having, like I'm seeing here, I think I found your article you're going through, but like the heroes, air quotes, translates to 4 presets that can be customized within those presets. Think of just the customization in Destiny, right? Where you have
Titan,
you
Hunter,
choose your
and
class
Warlock.
of the 3, and then you have there's character customization, air quotes, but
Sure.
it's like a bunch of presets you go through. So
I'd be
there'll still
curious
be
the build
kind of like
crafting.
Destiny. It looks like that.
Yeah, I'd be
where
curious
you're
to
customizing your person.
Sorry, we'll let Gator finish this topic.
Yeah, sorry.
That was my bad because I'm the one that interjected.
Sorry.
No, you're good. The reason they're looking at the $40 thing's been thrown around is because it was originally free to play, but they said after the finals, remember that game that flopped?
Yes.
You know, they moved away from free to play and looked at like Helldivers being $40. But in my opinion, you can't look at Helldivers and compare Marathon to Helldivers. That's two totally different games. Helldivers
Extremely.
is not an extraction shooter.
Yeah.
It's a land, kill shit, complete objectives, and I hope you get out extraction shooter, you know, because you might all die and not finish the thing. But and they said also microtransaction like cosmetics, battle pass is going to be in the game. There might be a video to clear up some of the misconceptions going around regarding it, but the actual significant reveals won't happen until spring of 2025. It's a hero system with more customization. They have unique abilities, double jump, fast revive, invisibility, to name a few. It sounds like they're just going to go kind of like what Bud was saying. You're going to have custom ability, but it's going to be like preset, is what I'm feeling. You know. However, the gear and guns you find are the most important part, and they can be customized a ton, it says. So that might scratch your itch, Gator, if you can customize your gun a ton.
I'm definitely going to play. I'm definitely going to play because I'm a PvP guy.
And see, here's like, this reminds me of Destiny. There's skill trees for the heroes. You get XP and implants, in quotes, for more customization. The original concept of the game had an emphasis on mysteries and world's first races, like Destiny, but now the plan is to have smaller puzzles and secrets. So, art direction, aesthetics in the first trailer are intact now and now are leaned into more heavily, which we saw in the first trailer. Here's my big thing. Sony wants Bungie to hit the 2025 release for this game because of the Sony, like I was saying earlier, the morale. The Sony-Bungie relations aren't in a great place right now.
No.
If they miss releasing this game when Sony wants to, it's probably not going to help Bungie in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
With Sony, I can see more layoffs or whatever coming, you know. Like saying, hey, you didn't hit this. We're gonna step in. Sony's gonna step in more and extend their arm a little more. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say something very controversial here, and I'm probably gonna get hate for it, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I've been thinking it. What if these layoffs that Bungie's done, this 2-tiered layoff system, what if this was just needed? What if they just overhired? Bungie probably they overhired. And did you hear about the article that the attorney who brokered the deal with Sony, he actually shared some stuff. He said that in a nutshell that there were a lot of upper management that had egos, and that they thought they thought somehow because Sony gave them these billions of dollars, but they would still be their own company. And the attorney even mentioned, I'm sorry, I don't have the source.
You're good.
He said, really? You guys are signing your company over to Sony.
Yeah.
How on earth are you?
Oh, yeah.
You think Sony's just going to stand by and just let you do what you want? They invested. They bought the company.
It's like I said before, when COVID hit and they started doing all those remote jobs, and my state was one of them. All them states where if you worked in these states, you could work. I'm like, they are overextending. Eventually, when people start to go back into work or go back into the office, it's going to shrink. Those jobs and stuff are going to get let go. The guy I work with at my new job, he has a friend that worked for Bungie. He was in that he said he got laid off like a month. He said about a month ago or so. I said, yep, that was that last layoff. He was in that group that got laid off. So,
well, and like you were saying there, Todd, like as much as people love Bungie, right? You can't be a company that has been owned by that many different people and gotten out and then have to get bought by someone else if you make good business decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bungie itself, as much as we love the games they make, at the core of it, they are not good at financial decisions and running a
They have
business
history.
as a business.
They have a history.
They're
of
great at making games.
Yes.
But yeah, they don't make good decisions for themselves as a business. And that's been the main problem the whole cycle.
I mean, if you look at the history of Bungie with Halo and all the games they made in the past, even Marathon way back when, Bungie were a bunch of hippies. I mean, I'm not saying that in a derogatory form. They were a bunch of freelance, free running. We're gonna build. We're gonna build what we want to build. We don't give a crap what anybody else thinks. We're gonna make our game. And I think they carried that for a long time. They had that attitude. They had that swagger. But now, the roosters come home to, what is it? The chickens have come home to roost, or whatever that saying is.
Whatever it is.
I mean, you put all this. I mean, I run a business. I can understand the financials, and human capital is the most expensive. But I don't agree with some of the people they laid off because, I mean, Salvatore. I mean, come on, man. All I can figure is he might have gotten a bonus way back then when Destiny was really hot, and maybe he got out with a golden parachute. I'm not saying he did, but I run my own business. I know all the expenses that they're going through as a studio. Even though I don't run a studio, I run a business, and business is business, man. And the fact that I saw these layoffs coming, by the way. I knew the other shoe was going to fall. I knew it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. But what I'm thinking is, now that they're down to a lean 850, and I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that, a lean 850, that is a big studio, man. I still think they can do all kinds of things. Granted, they're not going to be able to have their knitting classes, and they're not going to be able to have their own personal yoga massage or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. It's going to be, Sony stepped in. Yeah. It's going to be run like a studio now. And that's
they have to do that.
And that's what the attorney, the prior attorney for the Bungie company has said. He goes, it's just good news, guys, because Bungie is actually going to be running like a real studio now. There's not going to be any egos at the top. I mean, a lot of these people left at the top that got laid off or quit or whatever too. So I'm in a wait and see mode with Bungie right now. I want to sit back. I want to see what kind of product they deliver. And then more than that, I want to see what 2025 looks like with Marathon. And going back to your leak about what Marathon is, I heard RNG Gator that Marathon was going to be like Avatar, that you were going to be basically operating a character with your mind. You're like an operator, and you have these characters that run in real life, that, you know, in the game life, I'm saying. And when they die, you just get a new one. I don't know. I heard that in a prior leak as well, that it was going to be like you were like a, I mean, it was something like Avatar, where, you know, they would lay in like a tube as a human, and then you would run your avatar in the avatar world, but you would be controlling the mind of an avatar in the, you know what I'm saying? The consciousness.
Yeah, lore-wise, it makes sense why you're respawning.
That kind of intrigued me a little bit. So we'll have to see if that's true.
You'll see. Like I said, if it's a $40 price point, I don't know if I'm jumping on it. Right. I'm gonna want to see what it said and what people are thinking about it before I'm gonna run out and buy it. It's just
it's tough because if they were going off of what happened to the finals, and then trying to jump on what happened to Helldivers, but at the same time, after they made that decision, Concord happened. Like, it's tough to see. But again, like, if they stick with their guns, like when they were first showing stuff for Marathon, I mean, people were psyched for that Bungie spin on what this kind of game can be. And if they don't do we just need to fit into whatever's fitting in, you know, like the corporate, like we have to hit these checkpoints to be a good game. Like, if they can keep their Bungie spin on it and stick with kind of what the original concept was for what this looter shooter was going to be, I think it can be. I think they can go for a $40 point and be successful. But again, it has to stand out. Someone in chat was saying with the PvP game, like, was it Hammer? Yeah. Let me find it because they put.
Has to be really special to get new players.
Exactly, especially as a PvP game.
But now they're going to build Marathon with new players in mind. They're going to be integrating new players into the game. Destiny's run for so long now, they've lost their way as far as making the game being able to be played by new players. I had buddies that played with me years and years ago when they dropped out, because the number one reason they dropped out, I'm so far behind now, I can't catch up. You guys are so far ahead of me.
On. Yeah.
Well, it's also just I tried to get my wife into Destiny.
Yeah, I did too.
Not too long ago. because she's watched me play a ton. She's always interested. You know, she wanted to get into the games I was playing, and she was so fucking bored with the new player experience that she was like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm someone who has played a shit ton of Destiny, and I went into it with her. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Right.
There's
It's-
no guidelines.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. Absolutely awful.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to make, bringing new players is one thing. This game's gonna have to bring something that these other extraction shooters doesn't bring.
Yeah.
To pull people in and go, hey, what's this game? I'm interested. For you to come on Twitch and see everybody playing Marathon, it's gonna have to be something different.
Yeah.
Gotta
Well,
have
it's
something.
like-
Bungie's got to bring that creative, like they did with Destiny. It's something nobody had done. Nobody had seen it, and everybody loved it. If they don't hit that magic or come close to it, the game's gonna flop.
Yeah. Well, you have like the new player experience obviously sucks right now, right, in Destiny. But we have to remember also that the Red War was a thing that existed. And as much as people shit on that for some reason,
I loved it.
because they ran it 100 times, like the first time you ran through that was incredible. And
Ran it
that's what
15
my
times.
wife was hoping for as a new player, So like we know they have the ability to, because everyone started sometime in Destiny and got hooked to get where you're at. Now, if you're listening to this show, you were hooked at some point by the story in Destiny, right?
Yeah.
So we know they have the ability with storytelling, whatever, to get you hooked into their game, right? So if they can somehow find that magic again, they're set. But what they have now, I don't know.
Yeah,
They're-
I
they're-
mean,
Go ahead, Gator. Go ahead, man.
it's just like what 30 in Gaming just said in the chat about the mobile game. Bungie's not even working on the mobile game. It is mostly built by NetEase with
Yes.
only a small amount of Bungie employees on it.
That's true. I heard that.
But you're calling this a Bungie mobile game. It's like, but they're not helping it. What? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, and 30N just brought up another point in chat, which came up with your point earlier, Todd, your first thing. When Destiny first came out, there was no live service games.
You played it, and
Like it,
when you were
or
level 18
period.
at the end of the story, the stranger disappears, and you're like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's a market, and everyone's making, and we've seen like Fortnite got big, so everyone made a battle royale, and a few of them have stayed around, and a lot of them disappeared over time. The looter shooter thing got huge. A lot of people have launched those. There's a couple that have sticked. And to prove the point, I can only remember the name of one of them, and a lot of them have slowly faded away. The hero shooter, like that's another big thing that for some reason didn't click when Overwatch launched, even though everyone was playing it. That's a really interesting thing where that took years for people to go, oh, we'll make that game now,
Yeah.
And the Marvel one looks really interesting. It's had a really good introduction to the gaming community. People seem to really like that. And then, of course, you have stuff like Concord that millions of dollars and years of work
That just
just
boggles my
4
mind.
days later is gone, because you just, yeah.
I kept watching people playing Concord on Twitch. They had like sponsored streams, and I'm watching the game and I'm going, no, this game is not good. This is not. And you see the streamer going, I'm loving this. I get you're being sponsored, so you're trying. And,
They're getting $5,000 to
push
play
the
it
game.
for a couple hours.
Yeah, you're getting pushed the game, but I'm going, there's no way as a streamer. I'll be like, this sucks. You don't like me, you don't have to pay me, but this sucks.
I was not impressed when I saw it. I was like, one, it takes way too many bullets to kill these guys. It's like the opposite of Call of Duty. It's like you can shoot someone with 30 or 3/4 of your clip, and they can just run around the corner and regenerate. It's like, man, that's tedious. I mean, that's like too far off on the other end of the PvP spectrum. But I will say this: 2016, 2016, Rise of Iron was winding down, and Bungie went silent.
Mm-hmm.
We started creating our own content. We were so bored. I mean, dude, I'm a Destiny shill. I love the game. I'll still always love the game. And what I would do to keep busy, I would create new accounts and just rank them up. Just like Battlefield. I just go through all the guns, unlock all the guns, and then use whatever I wanted, use whatever tank. I had everything unlocked on the tank. I'd use whatever I want. But there was this little game that carried Destiny all the way until Destiny 2. It was called Trials of Osiris. People would tune in, including myself, every weekend on Twitch or YouTube to watch their favorite streamers try to go flawless. And if Marathon can create that energy and create that excitement in a PvP game, I think they got a shot.
Yeah.
And as
That's
far as
what I'm saying, that's what they've got to do. Is something
and
like
it's,
that.
as far as the $40 price tag, I don't mind paying that as long as the monetization isn't extreme. I mean, I know they're going to have some cosmetic stuff. As long as it's not pay to play to win, I can't do any games that are pay to win. It just loses all credibility as far as the PvP factor there.
Yeah.
But if they give you a lot of game, or they give you a lot of entertainment that is replayable, which this is the problem that Bungie has right now. I mentioned it last week's episode. Bungie has a problem with replayable content. They have been making this. Final Shape was a fantastic campaign, but once you played it, you're done with it. I mean, yes, you went into the Pale Heart and you collected your fragments, and you went to the different worlds, and they did an awesome job with that. I love the fact that they make it a solo instance so people can't freaking grief you when you're trying to collect chests or whatever, or people run around and kill the yellow bar before you can get to it to get a shot in to get credit for it. You know those days, those kind of things.
Yeah.
People are going through this right now at Skywatch, trying to get the Ingrams to drop.
My son the other night was trying to he needed 1 Ingram to complete the triumph.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to him going, he's like, I've been at this for 40 minutes trying to get 1 Ingram to drop. I'm like, I'd be like, screw that. I'm going to play something else. I would have to take a break because I would be ready to break something. You know, that's just stupid. But back to what you were saying with Rise of Iron in 2016, like 30 in game, like 30 and 30 said, and what Fudd was saying, that was the only live service game at that time. They had the market. Nobody else was competing with them. There are more out there now. It's saturated.
They have to compete.
And they have to compete. And the wear of the game is showing, you know.
And another thing to add to that, which I'm correcting myself here, there's a lot more other PvP games to play now than there was back then.
Oh yeah,
there's
absolutely.
a lot of games to play out there.
They got really used to not having competition, and that really hurt them.
Maybe so. Yeah.
And that's if they can keep their touch on it, it can happen. At the same time, like, as much as people want to say it was Activision's fault or Microsoft's fault or whatever,
it wasn't completely them. Yeah.
The majority of the really egregious monetization in Destiny was a Bungie decision, and that's something a lot of people don't want to admit.
We always thought it was
so
Activision.
that has me. Yeah, but it wasn't. If you really look into the timeline, when really really bad monetization happened, it was when Bungie was by itself, So like, that makes me worried with a $40 price tag, like what that's going to look like, if you're buying skins or whatever, monetization happens. But again, if they can just stick with what that original plan was and put what we know they can do to make something interesting and new in that sphere, like, I think it can work. They just really have to learn from their own mistakes and other gaming mistakes.
And they hid behind Activision and stuff, and like, oh, look at that! Don't look at this hand.
It wasn't us.
Look over
it was
here.
Totally them.
We didn't make that decision. It was Activision.
I remember when they broke off from Activision, everyone rallied behind Bungie that they had become their own company for a change.
They played it perfectly.
Yeah.
Hey, I was there. I bet. Whatever.
I was there.
The past is the
Everyone
past.
did.
They still produced a great game. That's all. I mean, honestly, that's all I care about. Make a good game. As 30 would say, make a game, sell a game, play the game.
Yeah.
I'm probably misquoting him, but make a good game. And who cares about the background? Or the drama? It's all in the background. One thing I did want to mention too, Hammer said in the chat here, streamers playing Trials isn't going to keep normal people playing the game. Well, here's the thing, Hammer. Marathon is not for PvE players. It's for PvP players. It's for Crucible mains and people who play other Crucible games, like Tarkov.
But Trials itself doesn't even pull the same numbers it used to. Like, that just, it's not the thing anymore, because again, there's so many
It's fun to
other
watch.
air quotes better PvP experiences out there anymore. Like
Yeah. And it's so
it's
trials are so
tough
sweaty.
because that's not going to hold people. Exactly, it's not going to hold people. It's not the same crowd. There's other things to witness and watch and be a part of.
Right.
And yeah, it's tough. Like that's things they could bank on holding on, and then obviously getting rid of trials 100 times during Destiny 2's life cycle and bringing it back doesn't help the situation at all.
True.
But
if you remember when Destiny 2, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's starting to make sense now. When Destiny 2 came out and there were fixed roles on everything, remember how the community revolted and how it was more of a team-based shooter? You know who was behind that?
Activision.
Noseworthy
Oh, sorry.
and Smith. They're gone
I
now.
thought, yeah.
They're gone now.
Yeah.
That was their version of Destiny 2 when it came out in 2017, and they had to do an about face, and they might have had to swallow their pride and say, well, we were wrong, I guess. So I remember they were the ones selling that game when it came out. They were the ones doing the live commentary or the live the Vidocs and stuff. They were the ones selling it. I mean, Luke Smith was on the stage with a big 2 behind it. I remember. And when it came out and was fixed roles, there was really everybody gets the same gun. There's no progression really. I mean, I think they missed the mark on what people that play Destiny really want. But anyway, I'm beating a dead horse now. But you guys think that's controversial? Wait till you see and hear. I should say hear and see, because you're seeing me live. What I have to say next. I'm gonna end the show with a very, very, I don't know if it's controversial, but we'll get into that right after this.
Well, real quick. Sorry, real quick. Hammer Crasher brought up a point.
Okay, go ahead.
Rewind.
I don't have my soundboard tonight. Sorry.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Hammer Crasher says, I don't watch streamers. People play a game because it's fun and their friends play with them.
Right.
That first part is very important. I don't watch streamers. And the thing that we need to remember, we are people who are plugged in, right? We watch news on games. We read leaks, all this stuff. We are a minority of gamers, honestly, at this point, right?
We are.
It's becoming more and more because it's easier, it's more accessible, right?
Yeah.
But the majority of people that are playing these games aren't in the know. They see a trailer, they go, oh, that looks interesting, I'm going to jump onto it, right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing that needs to happen with Marathon is how do you connect with people that aren't completely plugged in with everything going on?
And they jump into a game and they get run over by 3 sweat lords.
Yeah, and then they're gone. That's it.
They're like, well,
they're like
that was
you,
fun. I'm out. $40.
They're you
down
without
the
being
tubes.
plugged in. I had a rough day. I just want to sit down and have fun. Fuck, that wasn't fun.
Yep.
I'm out. That's a huge portion of people that needs to be looked at. And can they do that? Is another question.
Can we go back to the world where you had demos that can play the game, and then if you wanted to buy it,
Yeah. It's called watching YouTube now. That's your demo.
Yeah, but that's not me experiencing it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You're doing it through someone who gets an early copy or does a review of it before it's released, or if they're not,
No, hold on.
quieted.
Someone's knocking on the door.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
it
is what it is. So.
Yeah. Well, that brings me to my final topic of the night, and I kind of saved the juicy one for last here. We'll get to that right after this. I'm recording from 2 sources. It drives me nuts, man. I hear what you're saying, 30. I know your take on Destiny, man. I know you gave up Destiny a long time ago. I know where you're coming from when you say all that. I really do, man. I get it. And Hammer he's probably one of the few in our community who is actually loves playing Crucible. He tried it, he plays it, and I think I played Iron Banner last week, I think, with you. I mean, Hammer he's the ideal person for Crucible because he's not, he's not a sweat lord, but he loves playing the game for what it is. He loves learning how to play better. He loves learning the guns and what works for him. And that's so important. It really is important, man, because that's what Crucible needs right now. Crucible needs an influx of players who are kind of sitting out waiting or watching their friends play or saying that, that phrase, well, Crucible, that's not really my thing. That's not my thing. And once you get into it and you break through a certain level of learning everything and timing and all the other things, it actually is so much fun to play. You can have nights where you just laughing and having the best time. And you could say that about a lot of different games too. So no, 30. I know you're not trying to, man. I know you're not trying to. I come in 30. By the way, 30 and Still Gaming. He does the every Thursday night. He has a podcast that he has, and he talks about the latest stories in gaming and stuff. I always love tuning in. I'm not always able to tune in, and listen to every show live, but I always go in there and I Destiny shill all over the place, and people are like, Destiny, get out of here.
No, not you. Not
No,
you.
me.
You
Not
wouldn't
me.
do that.
No, not me at all. Not me at all.
Now I'm not like 30. I'm not ready to give up on Destiny and everything, but I am finding myself more and more to a point that I'm not as interested in the game as I was like a year or so ago. I'm just not. It's just not grabbing me. I mean, and they can come out. I mean, yeah. So.
Yeah, Hammer, life's messy, man. Life is never the way everyone thinks it is. Everything's messy, man. That's just life, man. I mean, companies aren't perfect. You watch a streamer, you think they have everything together, and then you look. If you were able to see what happens when they turn the cameras off and go back into wherever their other rooms are in the house, it's never what everyone thinks. It's a front. It's just a front. It really is. So, I mean, and that goes, with you're talking about behind the curtains. When you look at companies and what goes on in the background, I truly think that 850 employees is a lot of employees for a game studio. And I get it that they're working on at least 2 different games right now, but I'm still holding out hope that Bungie has a plan. And with Frontiers, I think I'm hoping, I'm waiting to hear more, but I'm hoping they can turn this ship around, especially now with different management in place, right? So.
But what are you going to do if it doesn't turn it around?
I just spilled out a total backlog of games that I have never played. I've played some of them for like an hour or two.
Take Apex on your backlog. Take Apex Legends off that list.
Apex isn't fun anymore.
Don't install that game.
Really?
I'd rather play Fortnite. I'd rather play Fortnite than I would Apex.
I played Apex. It gave me a lot of Call of Duty vibes, but with a big world. And I got into a few matches where I was like the last guy left, and there was like a team of 3 looking for me. I was like, the adrenaline was pumping, man. You talk about a feeling you don't get very often in gaming. When you're hiding in a building and you got 3 people, when you got 3 people trying to find you and the bubble is surrounding you, there's no better feeling. I never could win those. I mean, my God, it's 3 people shooting at me. But the feeling of making it that far in the game, it was, yeah. And I'm not a big battle royale guy. I'm not really big on battle royale games, but when I did play Apex, I remember those times. They were a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, but how long ago was that?
That was a while. I guess. Yeah. As Apex.
EA has gone in and like butchered that game and everything.
That's too bad.
It's just not what it used to be.
All right. Well, it'll just stay in my library then.
Like Fudd would tell you if he was here. You're going to jump in. You're going to play people that have been playing it. You're not going to get those new people.
Yeah.
And everything is what I'm saying. You're going to get people and you're like, oh my God, I'm dying. I can't. You're trying to figure out what guns do what, and these people are just killing you instantly. You know, it's just.
That's too bad. They even had a training. They had a shooting range. You could train.
Got that.
How to move and stuff. I thought that was really good for people trying to get in and learn how to play the game. So, but I'm just waiting for Fudd to get back before I can start my topic.
Yes,
I'm just killing time here.
Just let EA get a hold of the game. Yeah.
All right, Fudd, you ready, brother? Ready to finish out the show?
Yeah, man, bring on your whatever the fuck you got.
I'm going to be all over
controversial topic.
I'm just gonna tell you. This is from an article I read in a blog on Medium, and I read blogs while I'm bowling at night. When I'm bowling, I keep my mind busy. That way, I'm focused on my bowling game. It's just my Zen moment thing when I play. But this story came across, and it's kind of all over the place. So I'm gonna try to.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to do the TLDR version here. I tried to itemize it here, but there's a lot in this article. But here we go. All right, ready?
Ready.
I can do this. I can do this. All right, here we go.
I believe in you, dude.
3, 2. All right, that brings us to the final topic of the night. And hey, chat, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. This was a lot of fun. And FUD, RNG, I mean, I can't have two better guys to get the conversation going here, man. I mean, I got a lot of people I love in the community, but my first live show, I mean, we had a rocky start tonight, guys. If you watch the replay, you'll see. But
That's how a first time should go.
yeah, it was really it you know, it's memorable, right?
Yeah.
Something I can put in my journal. But this, I came across this story. I'm a big Medium user. It's like a blogging site, and they blog about everything. It could be gaming, it could be getting rich, it could be family, it could be
Underwater basket weaving.
I've even put stories in there about my marriage. I've actually blogged too.
Did you put the spoon story in there?
I did put the spoon story in there. Yeah.
Nice.
But I came across this one article. It's a blogger. His name is I want to make sure I give him credit. His name is Josh Beiser, and he posted this on August 30th. And the theme of this is, why are live service games struggling, and what can they learn from highly profitable and popular gacha games? The article starts out by saying that gacha games, which some may really oppose, still need to understand that these games make serious money. We're talking $40 to $50 million a month. Think about that. He also said that the more traditional studios have been trying to chase this approach for years now. But he says these gacha game studios approach live service and monetization from two very specific points that everyone else seems to miss. The traditional gaming studios from the mid 2000s to early 2010s, they would do something called, I think it was called Fun Pain. Basically what they would do is the devs would create intentional barriers and frustration in the game to get someone to spend money to get rid of them, like ads and YouTube. Shit. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But
by the way, I've watched 100 of them on this stream tonight.
well,
Thank you.
since 2016, they've kind of made an about face, and their approach is more like catching flies with honey kind of approach. But the fact is that every single AAA developer has been unable to compete with their live service games compared to mobile games. And he gives a bunch of reasons here, and I'm going to just fly all over the place here. But the first thing is they do continued development, meaning that these live service games, they provide updates to the game all the time, updates that change the current state of the game. And not only things like new characters, but also things like seasonal events, story reruns, and new stories, gameplay events, and mini games, which, to the point, Destiny 2 today does a lot of these things. The episodes are still hit or miss. Time will tell on that. You know, they've got the exotic missions. They do the sandbox updates. They have the Halloween events, and the summer they just had the solstice event. And they even change modifiers in GMs and the Crucible. Iron Banner pops around. Trials comes out. So they always have events every week that they're bringing out. But he said a lot of games rely on player-generated content. In other words, multiplayer, being that the players are the content. And long term, he's saying that this will not work. He does mention that live service games need to leave in a standard version of the game, and that the content needs to be evergreen, meaning players can rerun the missions and give the new players a chance to jump into what they might have missed. Looking at you, Bungie, taking away Red War. But he even goes further to say that the worst thing a studio can do is make their content playable only once. Campaigns and storylines on rails. That come to anybody's attention? But here's the thing that got me thinking. What happens when the season and episode ends? The reward track for that season disappears, meaning that if I was to come back and play episode 1 6 months from now, and I'm talking about Destiny, of course, that I would not get to complete the reward track for all of those ornaments, those cool ships, the shaders, the armor, the weapons. You get my point. Why spend all that time to create that content only to blow it up when the season ends? This is why I thought that for the year, the season pass bar, that goes to 200 in episode 1, what if it goes to 201 to 400 in episode 2. At least for the entire content year, it should all be available, right? Because they said when they talked about episodes in Destiny that you could play them anytime. There was no FOMO. You can come back to them any time of the year and play the entire episode. But I think with the season resets they're just kind of going against the long form content and playability. He gives 2 standouts here, and this is the one that it really kills me to say this. Warframe. Warframe, they sell resources and items that are required for their quest and certain events, but everything that is needed to play the game can just be earned through general gameplay. This means this goes back to my idea. Yeah. This goes back to my idea that Bright Dust should be earnable in game from playing the game, not just from spoonfuls that they give you from doling out from repeatable bounties and like the seasonal like solstice event, or this extensive Pathfinder that you only can do limited amounts of time. By the way, I think it's the first 5 that give you the Bright Dust, and it's like 120, 150 Bright Dust at a time. When a ship costs 3,000 Bright Dust, how long are you gonna have to do to get that ship that you want? And here's the thing. The ships rotate. They disappear. So it's always a rotating things that you're trying to earn in game. This game came out. I remember playing Warframe when it came out. It came out in 2014, right before Destiny did. I remember getting my PS4, PS3, PS4, and it was free on the PlayStation Network. And I plugged it in. I downloaded it. It's sad to say, but I just can't play Warframe. The movement is too herky-jerky. I actually got motion sickness playing this, and I play virtual reality games. I play, or I'm punching stuff. I'm play all these different things. I never get motion sickness. But Warframe, for some reason, I started playing it and I just got motion sickness. The camera work is so jerky, and then the color palette is weird. And I know they've improved the color palette with stuff they brought out. But I know it was a lot to talk about in this article. But what I seem to get from this blog was that studios need to create a game that stands out and is fun to play without taking out things that are essential to the core game and putting it behind a paywall. Second, these live service worlds need to keep everything available to anyone who wants to either simply buy it or, more importantly, have it earnable in game. Think of all the dev time making the content, only for it to be thrown away once a season ends. They do this in Fortnite too, I believe, right? The season ends and it's gone. I mean, it's and Call of Duty, you play the season, it's gone. Even though I didn't really like the feel of Warframe, they keep everything in the game. All the content in the game is ready to play or earn or buy. I tell you what, Bungie needs to take a serious look at Digital Extremes, because what I've seen, their community, if you look at their player numbers, continue to grow steadily versus Destiny's player base that seesaws when content comes out. And I think if Destiny looked at Digital Extremes and Warframe and saw how loyal their players are, the fact that they don't sunset anything, they keep everything into the game. I mean, their store is extensive. I looked at that store and I was like, I could spend $5,000 and not have everything in the store. It's nuts.
Oh yeah.
But let's look at Concord, that 5-player hero shooter. It was totally dated, but I think that might be the canary in the coal mine for other studios out there that are kind of thinking about that multiplayer method. But I still have my fingers crossed for Marathon. I really want it to succeed, but we'll just have to see what happens there. But games like Genshin Impact have crazy amount of content, and it's always there for new players to discover. I don't know. I was reading this article, and I'm sorry, I'm all over the place on this, but the basic theme here is quit making seasonal content that goes away.
And sunsetting shit. What?
And getting rid of storylines. What do you guys think?
I'm a big World of Warcraft player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if Destiny did everything like that, it'd be a massive game size, which I'd be okay installing that to have this. But everything that has ever been in WoW is in WoW, right? If you want to go grind old raids mounts, any gear you pick up, you can transmog any piece of gear to look like another piece of gear, right? There's reasons to go back and run all this old content. If you run out of stuff to do, you go run all the old stuff. It's one of my favorite things to do, right?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14 does this. I know that's another reason Warframe has done very well.
Yeah.
If a bunch of raids in Destiny 2 weren't sunset, I would still love to go play original Leviathan is my favorite raid,
It's
right?
my favorite too.
I would love to run people through that. It's such a good first raid experience, right?
Yeah.
But another thing with what you're talking about here is like there was a period of time where a lot of these live service games relied heavily on that FOMO aspect,
Yes.
which is why you had here's our battle pass, right? Or with seasonal content, and when it's gone, it's gone. You need to be here to experience that. And there was a time where that worked, right? Players, FOMO hurt people, right?
Yes.
They had to be a part of this.
Right.
But we got to a point where there's so many different games now that are hitting things right, that aren't being predatory with your time and such, that like when that happens, they can easily go, all right, well, I guess I'll just miss out on that and move on to something else. To bring up Helldivers 2 for the 7th time tonight, right?
That's fine.
That's a newer game that came out this year where they have, it's not like a battle pass with a season, right? They bring out these, oh, Gator, what are they called? Please tell me.
War bonds.
War bonds, thank you. War bonds, right? And it's not like a set period of time and then that war bond's gone. Every war bond they put in the game, you can grind and earn it in game, right? To unlock the skins, emotes, all that kind of stuff, but they're all there.
Right.
You can load Helldivers 2 right now for the first time, and the first one through the newest one that just came out 2 days ago is all there in the game. And you can grind out the stuff to earn them in game. The currency's earnable in game. You can grind the hell of it to get it, or pay the money, right, to unlock all the stuff.
Exactly.
But all that content is there for you to do.
Yep.
And you're right, gamers just aren't falling for FOMO anymore. It's
Well,
a thing that a lot of people really leached onto as you need to stay in our game or else you miss things. And it doesn't work anymore.
30 and Still Gaming in the chat nailed it. MMOs back in the day, you stopped playing for the month. You were done playing. The game you had to pay to play it. That's the way mobile games are making so much money now. Because my wife loves Bejeweled. She around? She's already in bed.
Oh yeah, Bejeweled.
She will spend freaking gold coins to keep playing. Keep playing the content, but it's always more content. They're paying for more content. I don't know how that would play in like a Destiny game. I don't know how that would translate.
It's also interesting because like in a mobile game, to like, the classic, like, oh, I ran out of energy.
Yeah.
Like it's like $1 or $2 here and there.
They nickel
right?
and dime you to death. I fell for it.
Yeah, which adds up over time, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you don't. That's why they're making so much money, because you as the consumer, which is not something I want to see in my games, obviously, don't realize you're getting nickel and dimed, and eventually it adds up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But when you're playing your thing and you look at a thing, it's $40 in the shop anymore. Like an Apex skin is like $30 anymore, right? So it's like you're not going to do that. There's obviously the whales that do it, but there's not as many people hitting that. What I'm worried with this article is that that's going to be a thing that people realize, and then they can nickel and dime and things. But is it First Descendant or Last Descendant? What's the game called?
I was just going to bring it up.
First Descendant. Yeah.
Man.
Where they have that same thing. You can pay money to skip a lot of the grind, but you still can spend the time to grind it out if you want. And they've made a ton of money from that because it doesn't feel predatory. It still, in a way, is, but you can spend the insane extra amount of time to just get the content anyway.
Yep.
Gator, can you imagine? I'll go ahead. Can you imagine if the Eververse store stuff never went away? This crazy ship that just popped up for this episode, for this Act 3 episode, because they refresh stuff all the time. Can you imagine? I mean, and they do have a little bit of a, you can go back in the seasons and get stuff, armor, ornaments and stuff. Can you imagine if a new player came into Destiny and the first place they sent you was to Red War? You play through the Red War campaign, you're stripped, you have no weapons. You're starting from scratch. You're going down into not the Cosmodrome, the other area, the forest.
Oh, EDZ.
The EDZ. scrounging and trying to find an old rusty sidearm. Man, that's how you get a new player into Destiny. And then, but instead of taking away Leviathan and I mean, we can say that Destiny 1 was another game. We can excuse that part. But can you imagine, and this is why I always came up with the Destiny Online thing. From long ago, I said they should just, these are assets they put in Destiny 1, FUD. And what
Destiny,
if
the game.
what if they shifted
exactly.
everything and they gave you everything that Destiny has ever put out in the game, Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, Destiny Online. And you could earn whatever you wanted. You could look at everything that was available out there, and and Destiny and Bungie has done well. If you scroll over something, it'll tell you in most cases what you need to do to get that to drop for you or to earn it. That is definitely something they've improved over time. But can you imagine if there was no sunsetting, no maximum amounts that you had to keep in your vault? Your vault was unlimited. Or let's just say I've come up with this idea as well. Make a pattern for it that where anytime you want to try that gun, every role you've unlocked, if you've unlocked Kill Clip and Head Seeker on that, when you bring that gun out of collections, instead of it just being the blue weapons now that they give you, what if you could bring out any weapon you wanted to and go through all the roles that you've played to get for that gun, even if it's crafted, all the stuff that you've gotten crafted, you could bring back and create that weapon again. In fact, doesn't Warframe do that? Don't they have like a 3D printer where you can actually make stuff, bring stuff?
I think so. I've never played it.
I haven't played it in
They do.
ages. I haven't played it in ages,
do.
but I just
You
get
have, like, a
I get
crafter.
motion sickness playing it. It's too bad because it sounds like a fun game.
Yeah, Warframe does have a thing where, like, if you go and collect stuff, you can build it and go on and do other stuff. It builds on your ship, and you can come back and pick it up.
Yeah. I don't know. This article, the basis of this article was how it was all about game design. It was how to design your game. And he went into all kinds of extremes here, and I was just trying to give you the TLDR version. That's why I was bouncing all over the place here. But the gaming studios out there are trying to do what the mobile games are doing, and maybe that's the reason why Destiny's coming out with a mobile game. But I'll mention this again. What if this Destiny Rising leak about this mobile game, and it's just character based, kind of like the beginning of Destiny? I know, Gator shaking his head. What if they release this game everywhere, not just mobile? What if there was a Destiny Rising game that came to PlayStation tomorrow? All people who want to try Destiny could jump in and find out all the beginning roots of Destiny, and then jump into Destiny 2 or Destiny 1 or whatever and keep playing. I don't know. But it just seems...
Yeah, it's a thing that could happen, like, especially with the technology we have on phones now. Some of these mobile games are insane, right? And they do...
I don't play a lot of them.
Launch on other platforms. There was a... God, I got to remember what the BR was called. That I got into for a while and really loved it. And then I found out, like, oh, it was a mobile game that got transferred over, but you couldn't... You could kind of tell, but not really. But I think we're at a point now where, like, you can have more mobile games that launch everywhere else that... Obviously, it's not going to be the same fidelity, that a modern game has, but like still holds up very well, and you can get lost into it and addicted and whatnot. But yeah, no, that could be something that happens. Is it confirmed that the mobile game is Destiny related, or just that Bungie's making a mobile game?
It's called Destiny Rising. That's the leak, right?
Okay,
Gator?
I don't know.
I think he had the info on it. He had the article pulled up.
Is.
From Destiny
Was that when I stepped away? Did we talk about that? I'm
No.
embarrassed.
No, we did. We
Okay,
didn't go
good,
into
good.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just it's a focus on a full Destiny experience: PvP, strikes, missions, raid. Inclusion of a raid may not be guaranteed, but there ain't no way I'm raiding on a phone.
I can't.
So
I got a 28-inch, 120 hertz 4K monitor. Why on earth would I want to? I mean, phone resolutions are fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but I have to wear readers, guys, to look at the screen clearly. What do you think I'm going to do on this phone? What the hell am I going to do on this? Even if I put the controller here where I can use a controller to play, I don't get people
You
who
might as
play
well get a
portables.
Steam Deck. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah.
My son had a Steam Deck. I turned it on and tried to play with it, and I was like, if I was in line at the DMV and I had time to kill, or I'm at the grocery store with my wife and I'm bored out of my mind and I'm just going to hide around the corner and play with my Switch or whatever, I could see using it, but I don't have time to use these portable gaming devices. Only time I have is when I get home and I'm playing on my PC or my PS5. I just don't get the mobiles thing. I just don't get it. But
there's people that have that time.
Younger players.
Not everyone's running a successful business.
And not everyone has a 4K monitor to jump in front of, I get that too.
Absolutely.
You play with what you can, but
Fud, like you were saying for the Destiny Rises game, there's only about 5 or 6 people from Bungie on the staff for the project.
it's NetEase's project.
They're just there to provide narrative and some support with character models and visual references.
Here's how we do monetization.
Other than that, NetEase is the one creating the game.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's all speculation right now as far as the mobile and marathon. These are leaks, by the way. They're not confirmed by Bungie.
I mean, I hope it launches and it's really good and it's nothing but NetEase. Swish, no regrets.
Doesn't NetEase like monetize big time? Aren't they very predatory on their monetization?
That's
what I heard.
Every mobile,
Is it?
everything
Okay.
mobile is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, 100%.
I can't stand games where you sit there and you'll run out of rolls or you'll run, and then there's five ads of, hey, buy this package, buy this. This is $9.99. This is $4.99. I'm like, that's why I'm like, remove game. I'm done.
What's that? And going back to World of Warcraft, right? That has everything in the game, right?
They don't take anything out.
Destiny, they don't any raid that's ever existed, dungeons, any of that, it exists, amazing. Right? And they do really cool events where it's called time walking, where it'll be a different expansion is the focus, and you can do a raid from that expansion, or you queue into a special version of them where it's been updated to current content, right? And you do enough of those, you get you have a random chance to get a piece of raid gear, right? So it's very good to do it.
Yeah.
And that keeps things current, but you can still go back and I run things all the time for different collectibles in that game, right? But if Destiny, because we have to always bring it around for you, buddy. If they brought everything to the game, I mean, let's be honest, it would still be a smaller game than Call of Duty is. It's insane how much space you need for a COD, and
that's amazing.
Yeah,
100 gigs. It's nuts.
I would. Yeah, it's the last one was 300 gigs or something.
I think half of the memory. I think half of the memory is just graphics.
Yeah. But why? If everything was in I mean, I still don't think that would save the game, obviously. But
I'm
if
thinking
everything was there, it would last a much longer without needing new content. If you could then make your own fun and go back and run old raids and strikes, and isn't the Forsaken campaign gone too now? Isn't that a thing?
Forsaken's gone. That was
one
of the favorites.
One of the best campaigns.
Going to Spider and creating legendary shards from. I know I said the word, but using Glimmer to buy legendary shards, because I would farm Glimmer all day and then turn them into legendary shards. I mean, little transactions like that. They've limited so much now with in and outs at the Cryptarch. I miss Forsaken. Forsaken was a lot of fun too. Yeah.
Hammer Crasher, Destiny's 160 gigs on Xbox. How big is COD now on Xbox? Well, just so I know the difference.
I think 180 last time I checked.
180.
I guess it depends on what you choose to install.
Yeah,
that's true.
If you're installing the war, what is it? The Warzone, the BR. Yeah. I mean, that's on top of it.
I think it was the newer Modern COD 4 or Modern Warfare where it was you had to install everything. There wasn't an option, and that was stupid big. It was insane, but. I don't know. It's it's tough. How do you monetize so that you can make the money without being so bad that people really, because gamers are smart now. We're not, there was a time when we were dumb as fuck, right? And we'd fall for anything.
Take my money.
Yeah.
We're smarter now. What's that fine line between, I'll skip this for $1 here and $1 there, and I'm going to spend, $80 on a skin anymore. It's tough.
249.
And on top of that, how do I make my game interesting enough where people want to try it, different enough where it's fresh, but also samey enough where people feel comfortable in it?
Right. That's a good point. I mean, I'm always thinking of the new player, and Hazel used to hate when I get into this trope, but I'm always thinking about the new player, because if Destiny isn't growing from new players, it's just slowly dying. It is a dead game. Yeah. It is slowly dying.
Look at it now.
Well, I mean, I think it's a combination. Now I think it's a combination of the layoffs, a combination of, for a couple weeks there, we didn't know if there was a future Destiny game. They weren't saying anything. And I think Sony might have prompted them to say, hey, you guys need to say something here. So get your shit together, get your notes together, pull together a timeline or a future map, a graphic showing what is coming in the future in Destiny, because people were like, probably the most shilliest Destiny player out there, I was kind of feeling like, wow, is this it? Is this really going to be it? And granted, it's a 10-year-old game. This is the longest game I've ever played in my life. Call of Duty was 100%. A close second. I think I played Call of Duty for like 8 years.
But as you had, it was a fresh, different thing. It was a whole new game every year.
It was a whole new game every year. And what drove me to play Call of Duty, not only with my friends every night, because we had like a rotating 50 guys that we would first come, first serve. Whoever was there ran on that team, and the others would get together another team. So you'd play different friends every night. But the thing is what drove us to play Call of Duty, it is repeatable content. We would prestige, reset everything back, all our weapons back to nothing. And we considered it a challenge because then we had to use the guns without the attachments. All of our perks, our silent steps, and our sleight of hand, and all these great perks that you had for gun skill, you would have to earn all of that again. And whatever they did, I mean, they had the prestige emblems, they had the prestige banners that showed people how long you've been playing this game. And then you got the gun camos, the diamond camos. Remember that 500 headshots with the weapon to get the diamond camos? Black Ops was the best at this. They would give you all these camos that you unlock for every gun. I mean, come on, Destiny. Come on. It's right there. It's right there.
And also, like, making strikes laughable is an issue. Strikes was the big thing. Like, when nothing else is happening, you could just talk with your friends and grind strikes. And you can't do that anymore. It's just laughable.
Well, the TWAB this week, and I'll talk about this to our audio listeners who listen to the audio form of this podcast. I am going over the TWAB this week, and we'll get into that. But they're improving a lot of stuff in GMs and reward tracks, more and easier rewards for different levels of Nightfalls and stuff that you play, which this really doesn't hit me because I don't really play a lot of Nightfalls, because that to me is replayable, but to a point it just gets so boring knowing the enemies are going to come out of the same spot 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, big group of thralls are going to come out over here, and I just know. And you can only play it so many times, but Destiny needs to figure out how to make repeatable content in this game. And until they figure that out, they're going to be on that treadmill of continuing to try to make content. And they talked about non-linear stories and more of a discovery game with Frontiers. That's all we know. But it seems like they're trying something different that gives me hope. But I'm going to still wait and see. But I'll still be grinding for that Legend title come tomorrow on my day off. So
here's what they need to do, right? Strikes, repeatable content. You want to do it, right? Jumping back to World of Warcraft, the Mythic Plus system.
Mm-hmm.
If you never heard of it, right? People eat this shit up, right? So you have your dungeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a normal dungeon. You do it heroic.
Mm-hmm.
You do it mythic, right? And then they have a Mythic Plus system where you can go up to, I think they've downgraded it now. It's like plus 15 is the highest you can go.
Mm-hmm.
And every couple, like plus 3 adds a different modifier that your team has to deal with as you go through, et cetera, and so forth and onward, that adds different things that either help your team or or hurts your team.
Right.
And that you have to work as a team together to get around it, which makes bosses stronger. Ads can do different weird things and whatnot, but the gear you get along with that increases to the point where you can just grind Mythic Plus to get better gear than you would if you were Mythic raiding, but you're grinding it in smaller segments with a core group of friends and flying through there. Whereas at the same time, if you're raiding in World of Warcraft, you have looking for raid, which you can queue into, right, with random people, and it's a very dumbed down version of the raid, so you can experience it
Really?
with lesser rewards, right?
That's a great
and
idea.
you have normal, hard, or normal, heroic, and mythic raiding, right?
Right.
But yeah, looking for raid has been a massive thing that I think Destiny would really do well from, with the small amount of people that experience it.
10% play raids. I've played one raid, 10% of the
Yeah,
population.
exactly.
What's that tell you? Think how long it takes to make a raid. It's a major piece of content.
And they're incredible. That's the main
Yeah,
thing
they are.
I would grind when I was playing, is getting groups together and just running raids. It was super fun.
You would build your power up and stuff so you can go play the raid. You had a purpose to go jump into the raid. Okay, so you remember the Forever 39 days, or was it Forever 29 days in Destiny
Forever
1?
29.
Yeah, Forever 29, and until you got through Vault of Glass, you would never hit level 30. That's another thing for another time. But if Bungie can figure out how to make not only repeatable content, but repeatable content that we want to play because it gives us good stuff.
Yes.
Even if it's an emblem, even if it's a character, I don't know. Call of Duty puts little baubles on your guns, which I think was the stupidest thing ever. But hey, it's something you can earn to put on your gun that shows a little bit of personality and flair and more personalization. Bungie's always just gone around it the hard way.
Is there, and it could just be, I just am dumb and have no idea, is there like a raid sparrow or ship anymore that can drop?
For strikes?
For a specific raid. No, for a specific, like there was a time you do a raid, right?
Yeah,
and there's a specific ship that dropped
from
that
They
raid.
still do that.
Is that a thing
They
that still
do
happens?
that.
Okay.
They still do
good.
it for trials. They do it for, you can get your own gear from trials, and that's in-game content for PvP.
But do they specifically do it for raids? Like,
yes, they do.
Is there a ship you only get?
There's an
for
exotic
doing...
that you can only get. It's a linear fusion
Yeah,
rifle.
you're talking about a weapon. That's a weapon.
I'm not talking about a weapon.
Okay.
I know what he's
specifically.
You're talking about
Is
vanity.
there-
Gotcha.
Yes. Is there
I'm
a
not-
sparrow or a ship that you only get from that raid?
I believe
is
so.
that a
I
thing
am
that still
not
exists?
sure if
I'm not
there's
about
one
Salvation.
from this new raid. I want to say yes, but I'm not 100%.
I'm not sure about Salvation's Edge, but in past raids, let's think about it. We got special shaders for playing Leviathan, remember?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
purple
absolutely.
and white.
Yeah, that's my favorite shader. To
Still,
date.
Callus is treasured and is still my most favorite shader. It's like a
Yeah, it's
bronze
incredible.
gold. It's just beautiful. So
That's the
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, having a specific weapon that drops from the raid is really cool.
There's,
but having all
there's-
the extra stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gator. Sorry.
There is a exotic sparrow and a ghost and weapon
you
shaders
go.
that drop from the new raid.
but only
So
10%
we need to have
of only
some of it.
10%
We
of
need
the player
ships
base
back,
will ever
baby.
experience it.
Yeah.
Give
Big-
us raid specific.
I like
ships.
that
But
raid.
here's-
I like that looking for raid idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Oh, it's
But here-
massive.
It's a learning raid.
I used to be really hard. Well, it's really nice because I used to be really hardcore into raiding, right? I was in heroic raiding,
Yeah.
dipped
I was
into
too.
mythic and
I
whatnot.
was very, very
and I've gotten
hardcore.
to a point where I'm like, I just want to experience the content, get some decent gear, and I'll do some mythic pluses to fill it in, right?
Yeah.
It's an awesome, you can kind of pick and choose out of the content where you want to get your gear.
Right.
So I can do LFR every week for a chance to get still decent gear.
Right.
It's better than heroic dungeon gear, right? I can experience the content. It's kind of dumbed down, but I can still get the story. I understand the boss mechanics to a point, which lets me go into normal if I want, right? And normal teaches me other mechanics, lets me move up to heroic if I want.
Yep.
And there just isn't, it's just, here's what the raid experiences is, especially with the latest raid where it's very hard. And you had a lot of people returning to the game
Yep.
for final shape. And then we're like, fuck that. That's really hard. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough.
I haven't played Salvation's Edge yet. Mainly because I haven't had the time to put a team together, and I've had people reach out that want to run me through it. But I just haven't had the time to set aside yet to do it. It's just crazy time of year, right, for me. I mean, my business is just going crazy. I'm still behind schedule.
100%.
But yeah, good points all. I mean, Gator, do you want to add anything? You want to say something?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Well,
God, you're handsome.
it's just the kind of thing where it just frustrates me because I know for me it's about the gun. For me, it's about the gun. If there's a new gun that comes out, a new exotic, man, when that Choir of One came out, I was on it, man. I was right there playing the day one solo. I played the first the exotic mission for that, and my God, I went into patrol and started killing stuff like it was nothing. I'm like, man, this is a fantastic gun. I even bought the shader from Eververse because it was beautiful shader that could go on this gun. I had a little silver left. Okay, don't at me. Anyway,
I'm adding you right now.
but yeah, it's just my whole point of this was quit resetting the season pass bar. If you're gonna have if episodes are gonna be something you can come back to at any time, other than running that activity that no one wants to play. What is it? The Vex activity now, where you have to farm these things from the world and then deposit them into failsafe to up your level or whatever.
No idea.
That's if that's the only way I can get my gear for if I come back 6 months later to play episode 1 and there's no track for me to earn gear, that's going to kill a lot of these episodes. It's going to kill it. If Bungie was smart, they should at least try this out and see if it retains more players. Stretch out that season pass bar, go all the way to level 600 till the end of the year. Why not? I mean, you just add, because when you reach 200, you've gotten everything for that one episode 1, all the themed armor and ships and everything, and then you get into episode 2, then you start getting into more harmonizers to get your patterns for your guns so you can do all that. But more importantly, you got all new gear, all new themed gear. Is probably going to be, I don't know, fallen or something. Scorn.
You about the new stuff or next season?
For the next episode. It's like Scorn.
It's fallen. It's vampiric. Fallen.
Vampiric. I mean, come on, that sounds awesome to me. So anyway, that was my point, is the fact that the gacha games out there, mobile games and gacha games, they leave everything in to be earnable forever. So when a new player comes into this game and they decide, I want to play Destiny 2. Okay, here you go. You start right here. Red War. And you got to start from scratch like everybody else did in Destiny 2. It boggles my mind why they took that mission out. Of all the missions to take out, they could have taken some of the middle filler crap out. Why did you? I played that mission like 15, 20 times. It just doesn't make sense. And then now they're backpedaling. Now Sony's like, we got to figure out how to rebrand this game for new players. And yes, I understand it's a 10-year-old game, but how old is WoW?
20 years. 20 years.
Are you serious?
20 years.
20 years.
I've been playing WoW for 20 years.
So there you go.
Damn, you're old.
There's proof of concept right there.
Insane.
WoW leaves everything in for you to earn. It's a 20-year-old game, and I don't know what the player base is now, but I'm sure it's steady.
And multiple avenues to experience every content, whether it's PvP or PvE, or if you don't want to touch either of those.
Enough said. I guess the way to end it right there. So
I got a question for you after the podcast.
Okay.
About WoW.
Okay.
all
Deal.
right. Well, hey, thanks guys. Thanks, I really
Thank
appreciate
you,
it. Man, you guys are awesome.
Not a problem.
Hey, I wanted to thank all of you who stopped by tonight to join the conversation with us. You guys and gals have been awesome. I appreciate the feedback in chat tonight. Hopefully we address at least some of your questions and input into the show. I'm really thinking of doing this kind of thing more and more, at least for the roundtable episodes. So discord.gg/GuardianDownCast. Go to our show feedback channel in our Discord and let us know if you like this, if you like the live shows. If you don't, fine, you're not going to hurt my feelings, because it's a lot of work putting live shows together. It's a lot easier to just do everything in post, but I really am trying to do more of a video podcast. I mean, you could even say I've been from Elmer Fudd and from 30 and Still Gaming doing their podcast live. I think you do yours on Twitch, right, Fudd?
Correct.
Just Some Guardians? I'm sorry, Just Some Gamers? Just Some Gamers?
Thank you.
Speaking of which, give everyone the particulars, Fudd. Where can they find you? Talk about your Twitch channel, all the good stuff you do out there, sir.
Well, first and foremost, play WoW, play Helldivers. Okay, enjoy your lives. But for the podcast, Just Some Gamers, please check that out. We do a weekly podcast where we discuss all things gaming. We recently did an episode about our favorite protagonists in gaming, our favorite AA games, stuff like that. We've done deep dive discussions on Helldivers. We have one coming up on Space Marines. We have a gaming club going through the Mass Effect series. We're currently working on Mass Effect 3. That's why Runga is playing through that as well. So if any of that stuff you're interested in, please check out that. It's on podcatchers everywhere. As for myself, I'm Elmer Fudd Games, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all those places at Elmer Fudd Games. MMD.
Thank you, sir. Hey, and I keep you titled this podcast, it's so a matter of factly, but Get On In Here, right? Is one podcast that you do as well?
Oh yeah, I should plug
love
that one
those,
too,
dude. I love those. I love that. If you guys want to
We
hear
talked
like
about JSG.
deep down interviews, this guy really gets into the nitty gritty. I mean, it's very fun to listen to. So Get On In Here. I listen to it on Spotify.
Another podcast I do. Sorry. Yeah, Get On In Here. You should. I still record it. You should definitely listen to it.
Yeah.
We were just talking about JSG, and that was on my head. I'm so bad at my own shit. But yeah, so what that is I do one-on-one interviews with people in my Discord, so we can all get to know each other better. Since everyone has come in from different games over the years, whether that was obviously a ton of people from Destiny. We had a big Red Dead run. Right, a lot of people came for that. A lot of people come on for Helldivers, World of Warcraft. So many different games that people have come into. Buy the merch if you want. Anyway, but yeah, so a lot of people that don't understand, they have a lot of things in common. So it's been really fun to interview everyone one-on-one, and people in the Discord are like, "Oh, I didn't know you play that game. I play it too. Like, let's get together and try it." It's been awesome. Thoroughly enjoy it.
And he has some of the greatest intros for those shows
He
too.
does. He sings every one of them. It's awesome. The man's
Oh,
musical.
I know.
Gator, yours is pretty legendary.
Well, speaking of which, Gator, where can people find you, sir?
You can find me modding about every Discord, known the man for Destiny, and you can find me, not on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me pretty much in Discord. I'm there somewhere.
Yeah.
I have names all across the board.
By the way, if you look at the description in this live stream tonight, you'll see the links for Elmer Fudd's Twitch channel and RNG Gator's X handle, and mine as well. If you want to follow, I'd appreciate that. And do me a favor, everyone, if you haven't subbed already to the channel, please throw a sub there. I do have some Crucible stuff coming out very soon. I'm working on the last video right now. It's a big playlist I'm putting together, and it's something I've never done before. I'm putting it all out at once. Like a Crucible toolkit, kind of just things I've learned over all the 9 years of playing Crucible, and I still love playing it today. So, yeah, check that out as well. And hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button, because if more people hit that like button tonight, that tells YouTube they need to recommend it to more people, and that means people will find out about our show. I mean, it's hard to believe it's my first live episode on my YouTube channel. 270 episodes later, right? So. I just thank everybody for stopping by tonight, and yeah, great show, guys. Great show.
Yeah, and the chat helped a ton. There was definitely, because we had some pretty
feedback.
intense discussions
I had a
where there
feeling.
was from each of us for sure. There was moments where I couldn't remember something, and someone in chat would pop it up. You're like, "Oh, sweet, thank you!" Bam, you could slap that and keep going on the conversation.
I love it.
Beautiful.
This is what I love about 30 and Still Gaming's. It's called Generation X Gaming. He does it every Thursday night at I think 8 o'clock Eastern. And it's always great because he always interacts very well with his chat. So yeah, check his podcast out as well. It's very good. I listen to it every week. They talk about all kinds of stuff in gaming, so it's really fun. All right,
yeah.
Thanks, guys. I will stop here. And before we go, anybody in the chat have any questions for us? If you don't, no big deal. I'm just gonna hang out just for 5 or 10 minutes here. If anybody wants to chat while I'm still live here. Any questions for Fudd? Any questions for Gator or me?
Get my fan back on. Oh.
I've had my fans on. I got 2 Vornado fans underneath my desk here, and they just blow. I mean, they're so quiet you can't even hear them. Sorry, I didn't say that.
Dude, so do I. Put me under your desk. God damn.
And I have a standing desk too. So yeah, I can,
No, it's even better, dude, because I can't hunch over like I used to. So
head on up. Anybody got any questions? I know Allocate mentioned that WoW's player base has gone down, but it's still massive. So I mean, what's that tell you? They keep all of their content in. They make it where people can jump in and play, and anytime. And I mean, that's a good thing, right? I mean, I think Destiny needs to learn from this. Bungie needs to learn from all this. So, but
what color underwear are you wearing? I'm wearing black underwear because I'm a little slut boy.
I am wearing gray to match my gray
Oh, like
shirts.
I had to check.
Hold on, I can stand up and
Did someone
show.
really?
Not
Did
to-
someone really say
Yeah,
that?
Yeah, Hammer
Oh,
Crash.
Hammer,
you know.
Hammer, I love you, Hammer. I've met this guy in person, man. This guy is an awesome dude. He is everything that you think he is. He's just a big guy. I
love to
remember
hear
sticking
that.
my hand out to shake his hand, and he goes, "Get that shit away. Give me a hug." And he's
Yeah, I've always seen his name around everywhere,
got
and it's
that-
always been positive.
got that legendary beard too, man. It's awesome. Yeah, it was at GCX last year, not this year, but last year. I couldn't make it this year, but yeah. All right. Anything else, guys? I mean, that was a 3-hour podcast, so I'm sure
I expect as
you
much.
guys are exhausted.
Rungo, was your question for now, or was that like
what was your
after we're
question?
not live?
I
We're
mean, it
live,
was
but
just
we're not
about
recording, but
the
we're
whole.
live.
It was just about the whole getting into it. You answered it in the chat about the whole.
Oh yeah.
How they overhauled the new player experience. I was just wondering how I was going to ask you, how did they overhaul it?
Yes, they did. You know, for a long time, if you started WoW, it put you at the starting zone from 2004, right? Which was not. It still was at the beginning. You could move through, but if you're just getting into the game because you've seen like the latest trailers, and you load into that, you're like, "What the fuck is this?" Right?
Yeah.
So it's last year, the year before, they completely overhauled the new player experience, where you load in. It's a whole separate island zone that's just there to teach you the mechanics of how your class plays, how quest giving works, how looting, all sorts of things, with some reworked quests to show how like new and improved questing can be, and some cool quirky things they can do, voice acting, cut scenes. Right, there's a dungeon at the end of the beginner area that you queue in with only people that are brand new, so it teaches everyone. It's a very dumbed down dungeon, right, where it's just there to show you what a tank does, what a healer does, what a DPS does, what is a boss mechanic, like what are some things you should look at. It's a very good, here's what the game is, go through it. You finish the intro zone, and there's a thing now where you can, instead of just going to your level 10, right, you go to the level 10 zone, move on again, and that's still stuff from 2004. You can choose now any expansion, right, up until you can't play the newest one, right? But you can level from level 10 to where the new expansion starts through any other expansion that's happened now.
Wow.
So you can get in right in the last expansion's content and level through that. So you're getting all just new experience. Or you can start in the very old stuff and see where the game started.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's proof of concept. 20 years. I mean, Destiny's only halfway there. What if and 30? 30's like rolling his eyes. It's like, no more Destiny, man. I can't take any more Destiny. Hey, I do hope Battlefield turns things around. I really do want to play a good Battlefield game again. I miss it.
They need to.
I miss Battlefield.
I've heard they fixed like every issue that the current one had.
Doesn't matter. They already lost
It's
me.
too late.
They already
Everyone,
lost me.
you know, a lot of people are lost. Yeah. So they need to hit this next one on the head.
It's so important to have the good first impression when you release a game, because think about all the games they're competing with now. And like we talked about, you got to get your game into that person's ecosystem where they're wanting to play it every night with their friends. That's hard to do, man. There's a lot of core games out there that people have played for years. You talk about WoW for 20 years. So, hey, we'll have to do some no build one night. I did download the game.
Yeah,
I'm totally
I'd love
green,
to, man.
Totally green. I don't know how I'd do, but I don't care. It's
you'll do
for
great.
fun. It's for fun.
It also has a great matchmaking system, unlike Apex Legends. So
Really?
you can get into it and have fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what you missed. RNG was telling me that Apex is terrible now.
Yeah,
That
don't.
EA has driven it to the ground. Is
Save
that true?
yourself. Oh yeah,
Really?
it's so bad. The match. Well, again, it's one of those. The only people that are still playing it are people who played it
sweats.
since it launched.
The sweats.
So the
So
hardcore people.
Yeah.
the matchmaking's terrible, but also there isn't a new player base. They're not trying to bring in new people.
Right.
You know, which is again kills any game, right? So
I
yeah, Apex is really tough to try to get into.
Okay,
and they've done
I'll
some
delete
weird
that off my
changes.
extended storage.
But yeah, Fortnite has been very good at allowing, because it's, you know, a lot of young people getting into it constantly, but you always have new people getting into it, and filling lobbies with a bot here and there to kind of fill things out is nice. To like,
That's nice.
if you run into them, you're like, all right, at least I can get a kill,
Right.
you know, and kind
You're
of
getting some
progress and move forward
experience.
from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the matchmaking is very. I've had nights where you definitely win like 5 games in a row, and you're like, those were insanely easy lobbies. And then you get into a couple where it's not like I got steamrolled, but you're like, oh, I'm trying now.
Okay.
It's very rare where it goes too far the other way, and you're like, oh, I should not be in this lobby.
The
and
game
it's still
makes-
not as often where you're in lobbies where you're just destroying everything,
mean,
and you shouldn't be there either.
I hear they're making $4 billion a month. I can't fathom that kind
it's
of money,
insane.
man. Other than kids got their parents' credit cards. And they're just
It's
getting that
parents now,
latest-
man. I've spent so
Really?
much money on this fucking game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they have every IP under the sun. Isn't like if you're a Star Wars fan, There's badass skins for that. If you're
Dude,
a Marvel fan, there's badass skins.
I buy
if you're
silver
a
and
Destiny
people-
fan, I can play as Zavala in fucking Fortnite.
That's
you know,
right.
like
that's right because they did the
Ikora.
crossover. event.
everything.
Zavala.
Ikora's
I
there.
remember
The
that.
strangers
I
in
remember
there.
that.
Yeah.
I buy silver in Destiny and I get side eye. I'm like, I want some of the stuff too. I just don't.
I don't know
there's- they've slowly made it where you get less and less bright dust every year. I saw this coming a long time ago. They've made it where they're giving you enough to, like a rat, like a piece of cheese to the rat. They're just giving you enough to keep coming back and get a little bit of dopamine for that bright dust you get. You can't buy anything with bright dust. And I heard people, well, I got 40, 50,000 of it. Well, what have you bought lately? Are you just stockpiling it over the last year?
Or is there anything interesting?
Because me right now, I've got 3,500 bright dust. Because if I see one, I buy all my shaders. If I get a new emote, I'm a big emote collector. I'll buy the emote. That's usually 400 or 500 silver, or not silver, but bright dust. And that usually is what sucks away my bright dust, is just the shaders, the new emotes that come out every season. But it had to be a really badass ship for me to sink 2,000 bright dust into it. Think about how long you have to play to get 2,000 bright dust.
A shit ton, yeah.
Yeah. So, hey guys,
Or
that
you
was
could
fun.
just each week and just
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
the free bright dust you're getting each week right now. You can get
Yeah, that's true. We're giving what, 350? That'll buy a shader.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to put the dog
Thank you,
to bed
sir.
and beat my kids.
Appreciate
so
it, Bud. Thanks, chat. Everyone, thanks
Love
for
you
hanging
guys.
out with us. Bye.
Mwah. Smoochies.
Take care, guys.
See ya. See ya.
Bye, guys.